I ain't selling my soul, it's what it costs me. The enlightenment, taking my breath, I burned out, grab the torch, feet, banging the witness me.
Participate in the creation of the conscious universe.
Yeah, see the story that's great to story. See the cool part, became flesh. It was like a more back support. This would be telepathic, smile like the talk. Telekinetic, every cell is electric. I'm a law. You can tell when I said it, I'm on connection. Step quick, I'm on range. Stop the plan stitch. No ice cream, through the routes in the lands. Let me take you over hell and basic telecreation. Above the prison jails, we placed in the equation. You slept too long, time we be awakened. The man that's disguised and hides inside of snake skin. We escape the chin, only good the face I sentence. In the sin, I taste the bit absorb a light. Universal, I was born in the flight. I am not Christian, I am the Christ. I am risen. I ain't living now, I am life. 5 elements and 9 stages. Who signs greatest? Most in the mind ages. When it's a trouble, the origin that never began. When I emerge through, you see the vision and demand you complete submission. I breathe grace, but when the universe is speaking, listen. I see the oblivion, you really won't win.
When I wake up, no makeup, have naked, I feel like I'm mission. Part of my language, but hang-ups will not define the kid. No, I'm not flawless, I'm scarred up and fine with it. My body ought to love you, this is all the best and kindnesses. But I still sip tea and shampoo and live free. Hardships and heartbreaks turn to backs of kidneys. And mom told me stay woke, cause all good ain't listening. Choose your words wisely, cause I all know what's listening. But no worries, I'm Gucci, my guys are look juicy. My dad goes, look awkward, my idol still movie. My life is a movie, like Ryan and Mookie. I'm just trying to do the right thing, hope that it improves me. My memories are powerful to me, you're assuming that I can me. It's the moment I got royal hemoglobin coursing through me. And my shit is now inhuman, I get that straight from my women. Sign is good for my regret, yours and true. You better shine on me, baby, you're a star. You better be exactly who you are forever. Cause they were trying to change your heart forever. Cause you sure damn fine. You better shine on me, baby, you're a star. You better be exactly who you are forever. Cause they were trying to change your heart forever. Cause you sure damn fine. I did you overnight. I was thinking me like 4 or 5 times. My mind be just writing affirmations like holy rights. I still don't know everything, but I get confessions from 8 levels and studio sessions. See why it's only right. Trust me, this my theory. Fuck your touch. But I heard all these mercy tests when you sat and you shut your mouth. Touching the club and food squad and these teams and queens coming to keep you reading. Coming for all of your asses, plus your house. I know it's heavy news. No cops for pretending. I was 14 years old, 14 years old. My girl saw my big fat minutes. Still got these spots and cutting my wrist when I go like the fingers. Now they be telling me what my lips look like. Now I know it's happening. Okay. Never claim to be perfect. That's an impossible dream. I'm just saying I'm working. That's the responsible thing. Can't have my life, try to find my life from outside. That's why the only things like that it came from me. You better shine on me, baby, you're a star. You better be exactly who you are forever. Cause they were trying to change your heart forever. Cause you sure damn fine. You better shine on me, baby, you're a star. You better be exactly who you are forever. Cause they were trying to change your heart forever. Cause you sure damn fine. Just the way you are. She took it first, so that's too nasty.
All right. Do me a favor, y'all come closer. Everybody that's sitting in the back and whatnot, because I'm farsighted. I need to see you. Because y'all all right. I need y'all to be close to each other. We're practicing the opposite of social distancing tonight. You know what I mean? We want to bring ourselves together, some warmness. Shout out to the family on YouTube. We're gonna do the roll call in a minute. Peace to the family out there. Our first guest, the host of the evening that I want to bring up and introduce to you. This man needs no introduction, but you know, y'all in Atlanta, so you might not be familiar with the force. Oh, y'all familiar, right? Y'all familiar with the force that is King Simon. right? I was at a reggae party this weekend, right? It was a Brooklyn Atlanta day, and they were turning on all the classics. They was going in. I thought I was in a Biltmore back in the days, and it made me think about you, King Simon, because I was looking at the dude on stage, you know, hyping up the party, and I was like, yo, look how far how far we've come. When I was a teenager, in the clubs, in the dance hall, doing the bongo and the pepper seed. This man right here was the DJ, hosting the parties, right? He was the hype man. He's the walking, all me, he's doing the gunshots and everything. Now, fast forward, this man was the same man that was responsible for creating historical lectures in the whole NYC area for many, many years. And now he's here with us hosting tonight's event. So without any further ado, I want to bring on the stage the living legend, none other than King Simon!
Lot of mercy. Lot of mercy. Then I talk about this world from sorry. See, don't let me get back into my own stick now. I've been doing all those guys that he said I worked with for years. Butcher was a good friend of mine. I worked with him. I did bodyguard work, and we brought him into town back in the day. Because I was in the Nation of Islam when we did security. And we was in Toronto. Let me tell y'all about Butcher. First of all, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Alafia. Black laws for all beautiful black people, like Khaled used to say back in the day. I'm happy to be here first and foremost, and I want to say enough respect to the ancestors for allowing all of us to be sitting and standing on their shoulders for what we're doing today. And I'm honored that Brother Red Pill, I want you to give Red Pill a well-deserved round of applause because he's in the building. A lot of words. Him and his brother, where's Blue at? Where's Blue Pill? Blue Pill is here too. Where's Blue at? Blue is just here. He outside chilling. Big up to Blue Pill. Give him a round of applause also. Yeah. Man, let me tell you something. I came down here on a socially distanced Chinese bus. And you know this 45 guy keep on saying, it's the Chinese flu. Look. These guys was cleaner than any bus I've been on, even in New York City regular bus. This Chinese bus was clean. I paid for 2 seats just in case I don't want to sit next to nobody. Because one thing about the Chinese people, although they don't speak a lick of English, when they get you down from New York to here, all you have to remember is what the borough name is in Chinese, and you got to remember what time you have to get back on the bus. So you might hear 15 minutes, 20 minutes. 10 minutes. One lady said, "Is this Greenboro?" Greenboro. She's sitting there waiting for Greenboro, and this Chinese man don't even know what he's saying. So if you taking the bus back and forth, or you flying, I'm telling your family, pay close attention to the Chinese man. The Chinese man will have you sitting on the bus all the way to Atlanta without ever recognizing what's going on. So I'm enjoying what I'm doing here because I'm really out here in Atlanta to visit one of my family members, and I want to give y'all a round, give my son a well-deserved round of applause. One of my 9 sons is here. I have 9 children. Oh yeah. That means when I was in the Christian world, I only read up to multiply and be fruitful. So I have 9 children, and they're bringing about 10 grandchildren for me. These guys here are doing their thing. They bringing 10 grandchildren for me. I have an uncle that had 24 children. My grandfather allegedly from Jamaica, Jamaica get known already. And then I'm a Cuban side of my family, so I get confused sometimes when we get upset and say, mira blood clot, because it's Spanish and it's a Jamaican thing. So I have an uncle that has 24 children. My grandfather had 31 children. Yeah, they didn't have TV. Stop playing. They didn't have television. What was going to stop them? And they didn't have a cell phone to stop the sperm. You know what I'm saying? But look, I've had a spiritual vasectomy for 14 years because this damn cell phone. I'm telling y'all now, cell phones are stopping children from coming through sometimes. So y'all got to keep your cell phone away from yourself and all that. So as Brother Red said, that I am the numero veto. I don't just do readings. I really do advice and consultation. You know what? Because all of y'all know yourself. I don't need to read you. You know who you are. You know how your feet smell. You know how you smell. You know how you look. You know how beautiful you are. That's it. I don't need to do that. My job is to help you tweak it a little. My job is to make sure you maximize your numbers and take it to the next level. Now, DJ, my brethren from out of Florida, I'm the Boogie Down Bronx. They need you for just drop me a little reggae rhythm while I do some numeration on the people. I want a nice, you know, old school. Don't old school, because I'm still an old school player. Still an old school player. Right, Monty? You know how we do. You know, Oakland in the building. You got to pick up the people from Oakland. Ooh, you got to pick up. See, I'm from Brooklyn, Flatbush. Oh yeah, those who know Flatbush, that means that's Little Jamaica in Brooklyn. That's what Caribbean, yeah, you can say it's full Caribbean, but Jamaica right now, Flatbush is a church by itself. I'll tell y'all that right now. So anybody been to New York? Who been to New York? And raise your hand if you've been to New York. Whoa, some people never been to New York. Whoa, something going on here. Y'all need to go back there. Look, they named New York for a reason. Because them people are ignorant as hell. I'm just like, I know some of the New Yorkers out here. But remember, they got the peach for Atlanta, they got the orange in Florida, and then they got this rotten apple for New York. It's a rotten apple. Let's keep it. So, y'all can read them for me? It's a wool on. DJ, you know what we do it already, you know. When Guinness buckle starts flying, come. All right, let's make sure everything all right. So, what I do is a thing called, I take the best of both worlds, because I studied with Les Brown for a whole month. And Les Brown was one of the top motivational speakers in the world. And I mix numero, which is numerology, with motivation. So I can help motivate you to activate your numbers to be your very best. So everybody knows, and all of us hear about the physicists saying that the universe is mathematics, from Galileo to all the way to Neil deGrasse Tyson. All of them say that the universe is mathematics. But we keep on forgetting that we are on this earth in the universe with everything else, so the mathematics is connected to each other. We are them. Turn it up, ready. All right, mercy. All right, that's old school, but I want more virtual 90s old school. Now, you know, that's taking me, that's slowing me up. I like that, but that's. What a mercy. We're rapping in our reggae style. King Simon Bruce, cheer up, all right. We used to take it down, flop was up. All right, you know, let me start. All right. Come again. All right, so what I want to do with y'all, I'm going to just point out people, and I'm going to when I get these numbers, because numbers don't lie. People lie to themselves. One thing about me, if you see me on Brother Rich's show, Black Magic 363, or my show, King Simon Presents, or my new YouTube channel is called, wait a minute, I see there's a camera here. I'm sorry, YouTube. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm here. That's right, I'm here, y'all. Everybody put a one up in YouTube. Everybody put a one up in YouTube. One up. Y'all need to put the camera way back there so people can see everything. They here seeing all of this. What y'all looking at this for? Where I'm going? Not worse. Y'all get all of this tonight. I'm looking like Shabba. So let me stop. I'm gonna back up for y'all. I ain't gonna give y'all nuts. I'm just saying, you got me all over the front. I didn't even know the camera was here. Then I look back and go, wait a minute. This is me, sir. What are we denying children? So let me step to the side. Okay, I'm sorry. I like to bring energy and vibes. I'm sorry. That's just me. And I used to host a lot of shows with In the Nation Islam when I was an active member of the nation under Dr. Khalid when he was over in New York. And give Khalid a round of applause, Dr. Khalid Muhammad. Give him a round of applause. Minister Louis Farrakhan, also give him a round of applause because he's still working. And of course, people like Minister Abdul Hafiz who just transitioned, who actually married my second wife and I. His first marriage was with my second wife and I, and that was back in the day. So big up to Abdul Hafiz and a lot of people. And also, I used to be in the Ansarullah community. Dr. York, before he turned into Dr. York, I was IMINAH. Oh yeah, I was there too. I used to make the whole wheat pizza. People don't know. So there was a restaurant there. I used to make the whole wheat pizza. One of the guys that made the whole wheat pizza. And Dr. York was the first to record me as a reggae artist. And then I went up to number 5 on the reggae charts when I left the community in 1988. And I was singing a song called Black and White Story. It was a conscious song amongst all of the slack songs of that time. So the Shabbos was out there, the Yellow Man was out there, so I was there singing Black and White Story in my mind. Ooh yes, say they have to analyze it. Black and White Story in my mind. Ooh yes, say we have to analyze it. May I go tell you a little something about white history. Say, oh, they condemn us through our slavery. They say we were black and very ugly. I like them, I tell them, I feel like they're street, cause black is beautiful, the one of them agree. They come out of the mountains and mix up with sea. Here we go, my friends, in the black and white history. Yeah, it's black, it's white, but let we tell the story. This is black. Lord mercy. Here we go again. A too hot song, now we're too hot. A too hot name, so now we're too hot. Turn it down, 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 turn it down. Let me talk to people. Yes. Keep it right there. Keep the rhythm right there. Right on the. It's called to ride the rhythm. It's riding the rhythm. That's what we call it. Riding the rhythm. So, I'm sorry you were tube about this. I'm sorry you were tube about this. Let me make sure I'm all right. You know, I can't keep on showing that. Why didn't you put the camera back there? You budget. You know, hey, somebody could have held this. You know what I'm saying? So, sister, you know what you do? You're going to have to back up. You can't be giving them all this. You know, don't give them all of that. I'm just saying. So, I'm having some fun with y'all. I'm just enjoying myself. So, how you doing, little one? First of all, let's start off with she's a pink pill, right? Give the pink pill a round of applause. She's in the building. Give her a round of applause. Now, I want everybody to hear this. Turn that off. Turn it off. Pink pill, when is your birthday, Pink pill? September what? September 4th. Now, check this out. She born the same day as Beyonce. Woo! She born the same day as Beyonce. And one thing about number 4 is born under September, they are the humanitarian, structured, and disciplined. That's why when Beyonce became more disciplined with her music, she accomplished higher heights. So this young lady here, with that energy of the number 4, and because she has a guiding light like her father, she's going to accomplish higher heights to another level just because of the 4 energy. And the 4 represents foundation. It represents communication. It represents television and cameras also in the science of numbers. See, in the Nation of Islam, we say Islam is mathematics, and mathematics, Islam is always stand true. Numerology means basically the study of numbers. So any form of mathematics is numerology. Whether you're doing algebra, geometry, whether you're doing adding, subtraction, multiplication, it is numerology because basically numerology means the study of numbers. Can I hear you? What does numerology mean? Very simple. Don't get all caught up into the bull crap. Because everybody like to throw you up here. But if it was Pythagoras that said he went to Kemet and studied the numbers, and he went to Chaldeas to study the numbers, and he went to the darker UP places like India to study the numbers for 22 or 23 years, watch that 22, then came back and brought it to his people, then it is ours. So don't let no one take your numbers because we were building pyramids way before with mathematics and building Timbuktu and other libraries with mathematics way before the Europeans came out of the caves. So don't you forget it. Y'all got it? All right, get it. I like that. They got it. So each number may have been another word under those systems, but remember, numerology was one of those systems that was a secret science amongst the so-called elite, or those that was ready for that type of knowledge. And remember, doing it from an esoteric is totally different than doing it from an abstract perspective, but we're here to give you and show you why it's necessary for you to understand that numbers don't control you. Just because you're born on the 4 don't mean she's number 4. It's just there to guide her throughout the physical life. That's all it's here to do. So if she becomes undisciplined as a number 4, the 4, if she goes to the positive and the motivational force of the number 4, it will lead her back into more structure, discipline, and organization, and realizing her purpose of what she needs to do in this realm. Because numbers don't lie, people lie to themselves.
That's right.
I hear him say, numbers don't lie, but check it out. Unnatural numbers, statistics can lie because they're in the computer doing it up. But when you deal with universal numbers and universal understanding and the balance and the true balance of numbers, numerology is objective, it's not subjective. I'm going to interpret the positive and negative in your life, and you choose where you want to go. It's up to you. It's not me anymore. I'm just going to drop it on you, drop it like it's hot. I'm not going to do that in front of the camera. So don't even think about it. I'm dropping anything like it's hot. So people born under the number 1, and when I say the number 1, people born on the 1st, the 10th, the 19th, or the 28th of the month, just like Brother 19 Keys called himself 19 Kings. That number 19 in the Quran says there was angels over it that was 19. 19 angels. But 19, as I sat down with Imam Siraj one time over there on Fulton Street, I broke it down about 19 representing the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the ending. And when I finished breaking it down to Imam Siraj, who is a Sunni Muslim, by the way, he brought the book right out of my hand. Remember, a lot of Sunnis don't believe in the mathematics or the numerology of things. But one thing about the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, where his birthday is coming up on October 7th, coming up this coming Wednesday, and I'll be doing a tribute to him on my radio, on my podcast, a tribute to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and his effect on humanity, even until the Ku Klux Klan he affected. But he was born October 7th, and 7 represents the spiritualness of that person, the introspection of that person, the person that was able to look in deep in what had to be done for humanity and then propel it out. If it wasn't because of the messenger, none of us would be saying black this and black that, or you are God, who's the original man, the original Asiatic black man, to make it on agreement, planet Earth, God of the universe, Father civilization. Please, God, we wouldn't be doing that. So you got to really check out. I'm not telling you follow anybody. I'm telling you, analyze their mathematics, because their mathematics reveal who they are. Even Malcolm X, he's born on the 19th. So is Grace Jones, born on May 19th. So in her realm, she was a leader of what she did, the androgynous look. But Malcolm in his realm was the leader of what he did, the nation look. See, that's 2 different people born under the same number doing leadership stuff in their own way. Pay attention. Oh yeah, we're gonna do some examples. Are you serious? I like doing examples. You know what? Because numbers don't lie, but I'm gonna get into your business. But if you don't want that, I won't go that deep, because I know I've had people cry on the phone with me. I've had all that kind of purge stuff. Because I am, by the grace of the Creator and the ancestors, I am able to look at the trauma of the number. Because if not all of us, we are sick here in America. And it's either mommy and daddy issue, or somebody got molested and raped. I can tell about their mother numbers what has happened to you. That's why my new book called Numerovation for Mental Stability is coming out. And if you want to order it, it's a pre-order, KingSimonProductions.wordpress.com. That's the website. KingSimonProductions.wordpress.com. Down and go to the PayPal link, and then make sure in the PayPal notes section, if you pay for the book, it is $40, but it's going to be first 100 is going to be hardcover. It's a collector's item, because we're in the 2020, like my brother says. 2020 is not just about the vision we have, but it's also about because it adds up to the number 4, it's about the structure we need, and we needed the mental capacity to handle what's going on out here, but also everybody that's born or in this realm had to protect their mind because of so much stuff that was bombarded from media. You know how many people went depressed? I had a friend that jumped off of a bridge in Canada. But ironically, I'm teaching on the number 4, which is one of the suicide numbers. He's born on the 13th of July. He kills himself on June 13th. And he was a former captain in the Nation of Islam. One of my dear brothers who was also best man at my second wedding. And you know what he said to his mother when he was leaving? And I'm saying this because this is some real energy that he was resonating with. And those out there always remember there's hope. You're looking at somebody that almost took his life 3 times. Me, I'm full of energy and vibe, but just because I got this smile don't mean I was never depressed. I got 52 teeth, yes, I got all the teeth. I love my teeth down too. But because, and I want to let people to know that, because once you share yourself, I'm very transparent. And I'm very, because Wendy Williams taught me that. Her and I used to work on the same network. She says, tell your whole story so nobody can come back at you, just like 8 Mile. He told his whole story. And it's exactly. And he happens to be born October 17th, which is one of another. 8 is also one of the mental numbers in my book that I talk about. I don't play games with this because I truly want to help people. From the bottom and all over my heart, I really want to help people. When I left and became inactive in the nation, I said it's time for me to shoot and become something different because we're never going to retire, people. We're always going to reinvent. Black folks can't retire in America. This ain't the place to be. Retirement was invented by Europeans. We don't retire, we reinvent and be our very best as we keep on continuing. So let's start with some samples. My sister, you want me? Sister one, now let's start. We're going to go male, female, the male, female. We're going to do this. So I see sisters do, oh my God, I got 5 minutes, okay. I like 5. I like 5. 5 is a good, that's you born on the 14th, so I know what that is. He's a 5. So let's start with sister, and then I'll keep on going. Okay, sister, when's your birthday? Just give me the month and the day. October 19th, powerful number. Now, one thing about the number 19, sister, like I was talking about Malcolm and all that, but your alignment number is what we call the alignment numbers is when you add the month and the day together. And that just tells me you're very intuitive. You always got to be careful of energy vampires, especially in relationships. Probably why? Because you don't tolerate too much bullcrap, so you ain't gonna have too much emotional men around you doing all kind of craziness. Am I making sense? Oh, I'm not gonna touch you too much. I'm gonna leave it alone. But remember, no, because a reading girl is nothing more than this. Stop playing. Stop playing. When you do a session with me, it's a whole different thing. But just remember, sister, when you're born under the 1 and 9, whatever you begin, finish. Stop second guessing yourself and your powers, because your powers are real strong. You just need to use it, because that's in tarot numerology, that's called the number of the sun. That's the number of the sun. So what does the sun do? Shine light on the world. So when you come in, people be, who is this? Oh yeah, people already feel your light, but you don't know how much your light is valuable. That's why you don't shine the light. You try to keep the light to yourself when you're really supposed to shine it when it's time. Am I making sense? Next, I want to go brother, sister, but my sisters are like, my sisters are coming out. You see, all right, only sisters coming out. Let's go to this thing now. Come back. When your birthday, sister? Just month and day. Woo! Number 8, old soul energy. 8 represents 2 zeros. Some people say it's an infinity sign, but it's actually 2 zeros, either the build and destroy energy. The zeros that going forward, clockwise and counterclockwise. So most 8s are old soul energies, and they love old school music. They got an old school mind. They love old school things. They like old school loyalty. They can't stand nobody that ain't loyal. Am I making sense? And you're supposed to be running your own business. Yeah. Okay, I think you're supposed to run your own business, but not just one business, multiple streams of business you're supposed to be running. Am I making sense? Keep it moving. Next. When your birthday? When? November 3rd? Same day as his brother KT. Now you see the brilliance of brother KT. Now, one thing about people born on November 3rd, not only are you that scorpion energy with energy that pulls in, not just, people like to call scorpions this sex freak and all that. No, see, that's European. Scorpions are passionate about what they do, so even in sex and business, they're going to put their passion into it deep. So that Negro better watch out. Like, we better fuck it up, brother. So you, as a number 3, always are supposed to expand your mind mentally, spiritually, and physically, because the number 3 is the number of expansion. After 1, then the 2 comes together, then the 2 makes the 3, which deals with expansion and growth on multiple levels, but also protecting your nerve and be careful of anxiety. Don't get yourself all nervous. Don't let people get on your nerves either. Am I making sense? Next. I got, let's go to the brother. Brother in the back. Brother in the back. Where you at? October 16th. Oh, man. Now, let me tell you about the 1 and the 6. First and foremost, in the studies of numbers, that 1 and 6 has, every double number has a resonant energy. So anything that you want, if you want to accomplish spiritual goals, you still have to maintain your creativity, but also you have to maintain balance. Also, there's something in your family that you're supposed, some people in your family or friends or relationship that you have to forgive and let go. If I'm making any sense. Am I making sense? I'm not going to go into it. That's a whole different thing. But it's very important, people on that number, the 16th, especially October 16th, because the October 16th also defines your alignment number, says that you're also a number 8, which says you do well as not as a manager, but somebody who's supposed to delegate power, and you'll do well in commerce and business, but also pay close attention to your ancestral connection. Anybody born with an 8 got to pay attention to the ancestral connection. So she born on the 8, your alignment number is a number 8, and then remember that 16 in numerology especially represents the number 7 energy, so your intuition is very strong. And when you have dreams, they are very vivid, if I'm making sense. You should write them down. Right? Okay, next. One more, somebody saying one more. So let me turn around. Who? Oh, yeah. I'm going to do $20 for 10 minutes. $20 for 10 minutes back here. All I need is your first name and your birthday, and we're going to run down what you need to do. We're going to write it on paper and make it happen. So let's go. Come on stage. Since you over here in this backstage, come on stage. Let people see you. It's the last one. Come here. What's your name, beautiful? What's your name? Your sister? IMINAH. I want to make sure I say, when is your birthday, IMINAH? My mother's birthday. Oh my gosh. I know April 21st. I grew up with Shia. Is my mother's birthday April 21st? Yes or no? That's my son there. So, my gosh, what's so deep about these beautiful sisters? My mother has always been a strong, hard worker, and they don't tolerate too much crap either from men. Especially in relationship if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, because Tauruses can be very loyal, and they're cusping. She's cusping Taurus right now. So, but the 21st in numerology, tarot numerology, represents the crown of the Magi. So they're able to turn nothing into something. My mother was able to turn bullet beef and rice into a big meal. Those who know in Jamaica, bullet beef and rice? Yes, with some butter on it? Yes. When men had nothing. So people with this kind of energy, because of that crown of the Magi energy, always study about the Magi, because the Magi, you've been given that crown mathematically so you can turn whatever you want to put into fruition and make it. You should be doing writing. You got a lot of writers. You got a lot of books to let out. If you haven't started already, I know you're doing it already. Some of you dancing, yes, that's one. My mother loved to dance and loved to sing. This sister here got a lot of talent with that 21, and most people born under the 21 have a lot of talent, but what's going on? Well, and since this is the case, this beautiful sister, she is one of your special guests. And I want everyone to give her, because this is the years of the woman, I want y'all to stand up and give her a well-deserved round of applause.
Give thanks and praise. Melanin Monday, give yourselves a hand. Come on, give yourselves a real clap hand. Come on. Wow, King Simon is in the building. Shouts out to King Simon. Shouts out to Red Pill, Blue Pill, Secret, Pink Pill. My brother 19 Keys. Mama Tassili's in the building. Top Rock. Yes, and I'm your sister IMINAH, coming to you from ghetto to goddess, from Oakland to the world, giving thanks for the greatness that continues to manifest and unfurl. So honored to share some music with you all today. Been a very emotional time. I just lost a loved one very close to me. And, it just helps to deepen our sense of connection to reality. So I just appreciate love, everyone sharing the vibes. We'll give it up for our music DJ in the building. So in the spirit of gratitude, I like to have an attitude of gratitude. This first song I'm going to do is called Thankful. And this song I wrote when King Simon talked about taking nothing and turning it into something. It's all in our mind. And so this song is something that helped me learn how to continue to shine. Let's go. Life is so grand. When I stood to the plan, designers of a destiny, we thank you for the blessing that is life, freedom from pain and strife. Yes, we live a wonderful life. Yes, we give thanks tonight. I am so thankful. I am so grateful. I am so appreciative. Life is special. I'm so thankful. I'm so appreciative. Life is special. I'm so thankful. I'm so appreciative. Life is special. I'm so thankful. I'm so appreciative. Life is special. I'm so thankful. I'm so appreciative. Come on. Thankful, yes I am, for making a life so grand. It's given me so many blessings. My soul's listening. My light is shining. There's a blessing never blinding. I know we're precisely deep into our being. We are greatness. We are goodness. We are so blessed. Yes, yes, yes. We are so great. Greatness is our faith. So we give thanks and praise. I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful. I'm so appreciative. Life is special. I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful. I'm so appreciative. Life is special. I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful. I'm so appreciative. Life is special. I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful. I'm so appreciative. Life is special. The deal is I'm a realist and I'm giving thanks 'cause I feel this. Life is good, this life is right. It's so much I appreciate. For love and all wisdom, thanks I'm giving. Beauty, power, peace every hour. Peace and prosperity is all around it. Above me, around me is astounding. Yes, I'm sounding like I'm full of joy. To happiness, I say ahoy. Living my best life is a joy. To be the best me I can employ. Oh, God, yes, this is abundance. Give thanks is my utterance. In this life I can only win, 'cause the power of the Most High gave me a chance. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful. I'm so appreciative. Life is special. I'm so thankful. I'm so appreciative. Life is special. I'm so thankful. I'm so appreciative. I'm so thankful. I'm so appreciative. Come on, y'all. I'm so thankful. Hey. And you know, through everything that we go through, we gotta have an attitude of gratitude. That's what's our mentality creates our reality. So we give thanks for that. So this next song, From Ghetto to Goddess, is about sparkling, coming from my journey, rising from ghetto to goddess. In the mind and the situations I found myself in here in the West End, attending Spelman College, dropping out to major in the strip clubs of Atlanta, almost losing my life, finding myself surrounded by pain and strife, and then going on the journey to elevate my mind and finding the gifts inside me so I can shine. Let's go. Ghetto to goddess, ghetto to goddess, ghetto to goddess. How are we living life? Are we free from pain, free from strife? And if we're not telling why, we must believe we can fly. Like above all the pain, turn me to a higher plane. Strategize with the game. Lower things, make a change. From ghetto to goddess, come on. From ghetto to goddess, hey. From ghetto to goddess, come on. From ghetto to goddess, goddess. From ghetto to goddess, come on. From ghetto to goddess, hey. From ghetto to goddess, come on. Being in the ghetto is a state of mind where we need what's to do in a phase of time. Some of my people just might say living in the ghetto is our only way, but we can make it right when we try. I'm telling you, don't live a lie. No, you are free. Let me be. Free yourself from mental slavery. From ghetto to goddess, come on. From ghetto to goddess, hey. From ghetto to goddess, come on. From ghetto to goddess, goddess. From ghetto to goddess, come on. From ghetto to goddess, hey. From ghetto to goddess, what? From ghetto to goddess, it's time that we rock it. I'm calling it my eyes upset. Near Pet Sacrament, goddess is a set. My mind be out, and if you thinking it's like for me, sorry you're wrong. I'm seeing got through my own race. I'm in a divine place. Got through my own race. I'm in a divine place. I ain't believing no hot in the sky. I'm gonna wake up and live. I know the most high. Let's go to another level. Get more ancestral gift thanks for how we live it, and be forgiven for the things we didn't know or didn't show. Give thanks for progress. Miracles get more intuitive. Spiritual make our prayer every day. One little rock. So rock with me, rock with me, rock with me like Restore your love, restore your life. Restore your love from pain to strife. Restore your love, restore your life. Restore your love, live with God is life. From ghetto to goddess, what from ghetto? Come on, from ghetto. Hey, from ghetto. Come on, from ghetto. Hey, from ghetto. Come on, from ghetto. Hey, from ghetto to goddess. Ashe. sings, you know, in 3s, 5s, 9s, 13s. This is a 3-9. So this third song is, you know, encouraging our sisters, our brothers to know that y'all can turn up, but the lyrics gotta be turned up too. So I like to do a little G-make sometimes. So this one is called Life is Sweet. On tonight's theme, our brother 19 Keys, talking about building black wealth. And starts with us doing what we do. Let's go. Cause life is sweet, yeah, life is sweet. Drip, drip, honey, baby, blessings on repeat. And they flow, getting it for sure. Sister IMINAH, and you already know I'm here to raise a bar. No, I'm this in your car. I'm here to tell my people things like they really are. Okay, these bitches screwing, but we're going to pursue it. Now how you really moving? Tell me how you really moving. I'm here like, wait, hold up, this is the goddess lower. I got my business, but still know I got that good stuff. My kisses see the snow. I am IMINAH Ice, and I am putting that free, don't see me. It's you the business is full of our people. You know when they see us, it ain't never just us who they shooting and locking up. Oh, it's just us, and it's just ready for it. It's time and ready for it. We deserve so much money that they owe us, honey. I'm my people, cause we are more than equal. So this is bread and get ahead, we are more than equal. And I'm seeking reparations from these wicked nations. Black lives matter, what you really say, what you really do. All of my people, yeah, it's time to reparations. Okay, it just ain't money, we should pay no taxes. Education, honey, I'm saying no tuition and land grants too. We need them subsidies, we need them loans too. All our own businesses, that's what the business is. Instead of robbing and slanging jobs, just to fight and live. Yes, we deserve our own. Time to reclaim our throne. Reparations worldwide for my people. Hell no, we ain't free. No city, one can see. When you go into the prisons, it's full of our people. You know when they see us, it ain't never just us who they shooting and locking up. Oh, it's just us. And it's just to slave for it. It's pride and grateful. We just cover so much money that they owe us, honey. I'm repping for my people, cause we are more than equal. So let's get this bread and get ahead. We are more than equal. And I'm seeking reparations from these wicked nations. Black lives matter, we been having too much patience. What you really saying, what you really do. All of my people, yeah, it's time to start the real thing. Tell me. Is it love again? Ooh, is it love again? Ooh, life is sweet, yeah, life is sweet. Drip, drip, honey, baby, blessings on repeat. And they flow, getting it for show. Sister IMINAH, and you already know. Again, I'm your sister IMINAH, coming from ghetto to God, from Oakland to Atlanta to the world. Y'all follow me on IG, Instagram, YouTube. Check out my music on iTunes. And stay tuned. I say.
Y'all give it up, man. Give it up, give it up. Sister IMINAH. Right? Living proof that therapy is in the music. The music is therapeutic. You know what I'm talking about? She came up here and shined her light. Right? So, with that being said, we are about to take a small break, and then when we get back, we're going to bring on the God body himself, 19 Keys. So 10 minutes, go and chop it up with the vendors. We have a book. By show of hands, how many people first time here? All right, cool. I have a book right there. I want y'all to put your email, your name, and your number alongside with your skill set and what it is that you do. And then we're going to bring it back. All right, so 10 minutes, y'all. Peace.
What's the reason for the presentation? Here's my question. Your selection of words is annoying. You got stroke back, mumble crap, no thought, into that. I saw that flow of waiting. Brace yourself, no close caption, no title. Broken English when it comes to my music. I bring it to your face. I'm a survivor, you're in the China game. I'm everywhere. I see the word is red and like a train. There's nothing left. And people change. They got me up again, spreading about my name. They trying to bring my life to shame like my body and on the sober. I'm getting sick. I'm getting Open up all body and really translates information, but you missed it. Very sad that I ain't wrong. Why y'all lying that it got me song? To the sky, they try to come and do on. I'm sipping this beat, I'm gonna get my dope on. Put my star seeds. You got me, dream up, son. I'm walking crazy. I'm talking fast, everyone.
Goddesses, healers, I am on my mission. I invite you all. Let's find it out so it's safe for me. Keep it in check. I am on and I used to be. I invite you all to take a leap. Action rejected the frequency. Let's find it out so it's safe for me. Keep it in check. I really want to help you. We're my queens. We been manifesting by the things. All our dreams. Rulers of the green race of green. Getting cream. Surround some ultra light mix. That's the king. Descendants of the kingdom of Kush. Down in Venice smoking blackberry kush. I do what I want. I do it for fun. I do it for us. I do it with love. Celebrating life on the daily. The more I do that, the more they pay me. Elevation every day, I'm committed. First I see it, then I go out and get it. If you want to feel love, you gotta give it. Don't ever let it knock you off the pivot. Keep your vibes high, don't you get it? It's a journey, so you want to finish. If you want to see it happen, write it down. That's law. I usually like to copy by the pound. For my dogs. Keep it coming, girls, first round. For the heart, be confident, wearing a crown. You are art, compassion, forgiveness, live with more intention, speed life, give thanks, stay dedicated to ascension. I am on my
Check. Show you how at the entrepreneurs. Spend something. Hey!
Let's vibe it out.
I share it up.
Keep it in check. I am on that I used to be. I invite you all to take a deep. Astral projected through frequency. Let's vibe it out so it's safe for me. Keep it in check. Tap in, stay in tune with your cycle. Let it flow. Every move of a minute to rival. Let it grow. Every bleeding on the earth is tribal. Let it flow. If it isn't vital for your survival, let it go. Protect your energy and time for yourself. You don't have to work for nobody else. So your spiritual wealth. Watch it help. So your pain must escalate. Hope you're thriving and you're living your best today. It's your better than yesterday. Practice.
Shot the red pill. Hey! What up, Blue? Edo's Wild One. Blackbush Massive. Hey! 90s. We got the ITEL fan. Shut the hole. Holloway, what up?
Y'all got a request? Holla at me. Hey, you got a request? Holla at your boy. KTL and the ATL, let's go. Shout out to King Simon, the OG General in the building. Original Yard Man.
We went from music animals, searching for the blacks in China, to searching to these back pages, for some black China, and some black vagina. We went from the USA and the black starliners.
Hey, hold on, let me bring that back. There's some new red pill, man. Pay attention, man. Let's go.
It's so magnetic.
It's the God Hour. 19 keys, I see you. Hey, blue pill. La, la, la.
We went from music animals, searching for the blacks in China, to searching for these back pages, for some black China, and some black vagina. We went from the UNIA and the black starliners, to some black pieces, black shiners. We ain't track from the miners. We from that for damn black designers, to some country turtlenecks, black people. Hey! Moving on up, all up, street, communicating, moving on up. I'm dream chasing, chasing us. As a pop so long, we was adjacent once. Ridiculous fears, they drink his tears. While you waking up for delinquent years, distinctive years, crack pain, black rain, Phoenix single backstage, state property, crack cake. Hell up in Harlem, the black flames, blue cage, going through his crack rain, rain captured, bulletproof zombies fractured, toothless blondies carving a piece, ruthless zombies starving for peace. No disguise with the vulture's eyes, most survive with their culture's guys. Look at soft face, blue social eyes, coach the guys that get posterized, or dropped in the acid, emulsified, more like your media socialized. When they see us and they start acting goofy, we smacking goofy, they acting goofy. I'm a timeless royal, timeless turmoil, feeling timeless on timeless boil, flaxseed oil, wax to boil, color with a bachelor soil, with orange coils. With the laws of attraction, I'm not force of action. If you look like Penny for a good time, I toss a Jackson. Me in the car in this sponsored tangle. I'm dripping in carrots, the sponsor the jangle. If I had to decide to fade the Billy Gates, I say young choppers ass like a mistake. Should I give birth to a lady killer? I get desire to the same dealers. A hard pill they soon to swallow. Whenever I go, but these drones they soon to follow. I resisted the urge, they persisted to purge. We take the wood from the paper wood, in my neck the wood. The nigga who say neck is good. Protect the wood, protect this wood. 36 chambers, inspect the deck was good.
Remember when you heard it first? Red pill, I see you, big bro. Brooklyn in the building. Shout out everybody from out of town. All my out of towners visiting right now. My name is Fire Vibes. Hey! Space. All right. We are getting back into the second segment of the show. Shout out to the family out there in YouTube land. Family, please, I need y'all to quiet it down. All of the family that's in the back, please come forward. We don't need anybody in the back. Please bring it closer, bring it forward. People in the back, bring it forward. I need y'all to come together. All right? All right. So, by show of hands, how many people were in the building last week? That's what's up. All right, thank you for coming back. At the end of last week's show, we brought our brother on, who's going to be our next guest, to give y'all a taste of what's to come this week. So we're at the point where we're ready to bring our brother to come through to deliver a lecture to the family. But before we do that, I was outside and I was approached by a brother who gave me a flyer, and the flyer said that the brother was running for state senate, and his name is Ford. And I know tonight the brother 19 Keys is going to be talking about politics, the election, the selection, amongst many other things, the black standard, the wealth standard. So I was like, nah, that's the ancestors talking right there, because we always hear people say, I'm not going to vote for Biden or Trump, but if you do vote, you need to vote locally. If you really want to spit that why you need to vote and what your ancestors died for, well, where that power is really affected is on a local level. So I want to bring this brother on stage because it's not often that we have brothers come to our classes and our lectures that are involved in politics that want to help the community. On the noise, y'all. Right? But if this brother does what he said that he's going to do, then we may have a friend in office. So let me bring this brother on stage. Give a hand to Brother Zan Ford, please. Peace, Kid. How's everything?
Yo, I'm great. Hey, I really do appreciate y'all giving me the time to address y'all. I'm not going to speak too long. The vibe is beautiful. We're having a good time. I'm glad that I happened upon the invite to come on out here. So I'll be real quick. My name is Zan Ford. I'm running for state senate, District 39. Now that district goes from South College Park in Union City, East Point, Southwest Atlanta, up in the West End, through Midtown, and ends up in Buckhead by Lenox Mall. It's a very wide, very diverse district. But it also is a district that has serious income inequality. Obviously, right? Midtown and Buckhead on the north, Southwest, West End, and East Point to the south. Myself, I come from a long lineage of activists. My father, he actually held this same office for about 21 years, Senator Vincent Ford. Some of you may know him, some of you may not. If you don't, I say go ahead and do some research on him. But with that said, I'm my own man, but very much I have the same activist spirit my father has. Some of the things that I am in favor for, raising the minimum wage to $15, expanding Medicaid so that 300,000 Georgians in this state can have health insurance, because the only reason they don't right now is because Republican leadership has decided they do not want to give, rather disperse the funds that was given to them by Obama during his last term. And it's simply just, basic pride and pettiness. It was bad enough before COVID, but now we're in the midst of the worst pandemic in the last 100 years. It's downright immoral and conscionable to let that go on. And as a young black man, or youngish, from 36, 37 this month, as a young black man, it is also very incumbent upon me to push police reforms. There's a fundamental problem with the way that this country polices its citizens, especially its black citizens. So I'm not afraid to say Black Lives Matter at any moment, any time, in any arena, to make sure that that movement is felt wherever I go. And one thing that I do want to see as far as police is create a database that tracks the negative actions that our police have in our community. So then when an officer violates the public trust in our community, they cannot simply go to a different jurisdiction and continue to operate. I'm an insurance agent by trade. I know it's insurance agent, it's kind of boring, but with that said, I'm licensed and certified by the state. And if I do anything to violate my code of ethics, I lose my license. I can no longer do my thing in the state. So why in the world would a police officer that gets fired in Atlanta be able to go up to, like I said, Gainesville, and then get fired from there and go to Savannah and keep perpetuating the same foolishness? We got to get rid of the bad apples. We can't just move them to the back of the shelf. So that's a little bit about me, man. Yes, sir.
So are you saying that knowing about the insurance, going after the insurance of the officers, is that a part of your, that, are you running on that?
Yeah, so some other police reforms I want to see are abandoning no-knock warrants, right? But also banning chokeholds, but also, and more to your point, ending qualified immunity. Qualified immunity is a law. It's not necessarily called qualified immunity everywhere you go, but it's basically a law that these states and even federally that they have that protects individual civil service, and not just law enforcement. It can be anybody that has a government job from being prosecuted for doing something in the course of doing their work as a job. We definitely have to end that. That really does protect these police officers, these bad cops, and allows them to operate without any sort of oversight, without any sort of fear of retribution, legally or otherwise, because they know that law's going to clamp down and protect them no matter what they do. Very seldom is anybody ever held to criminally responsible. At the most, you may be able to get them in a civil suit, i.e., Breonna Taylor, $12 million. But they're not even going to give it any sort of love as far as actually going after the men that murder in cold blood in their own house. So, yeah, I don't want to take up too much of your time, y'all. My name is Zan Fort, Z-A-N, last name Fort, F-O-R-T. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Vote for Fort, V-O-T-E, the number 4, F-O-R-T. And you also go to my website, www.zanfort.com. And if you are, if you're so inclined, please donate. But if not, just tell somebody about it. Y'all out here in the West End, so you know people who stay in this area. I'm sure you know some people in College Park, East Point, so on and so forth. Talk to these people, let them know about me, let them know I'm the real deal, and tell them that you had the chance to actually speak to me. Furthermore, if I could do this one more thing, and I really have no problem doing this. I know we're on the internet as well. But I always give out my phone number freely, my cell phone number. If there's anything at all that that you take an issue with, you think nobody is paying attention to, nobody cares about, give me a call. Don't be about that foolishness, but give me a call. Or text me, or do whatever you have to do to reach out to me. If I don't answer the phone, I'm usually in a meeting or in something else, I'll give you a call back and we'll go over it. I have no problem doing that. That phone number is 770-243-3776. Again, 770-243-3776. I appreciate the time, y'all. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your night, and I want to thank you for having me.
All right. Get that brother a hand, man. Mr. Fort, when you get in office, we're going to make that visit. I'm just saying, you know? Yeah. It's always good to have friends in high places. So, right? With that being said, we have reached that time in the lecture that we're about to receive some downloads and some information and some insight and some light from one of the brightest lights in our community. You dig? But in the spirit of twinning and in the spirit of 2020, which is the 2, right? I'm gonna have this brother's brother get up here and do the introduction and bring his brother on stage, all right? So give a hand to Brother Bashir, please. Y'all, give a hand to Brother Bashir. Yes, indeed. And give a hand to the twins, the other brothers too, all right? Brother 19 Keys brothers, the twins. Yes, indeed. The whole family is out. Please go.
Peace and blessing. Everybody feeling today? I asked that question, right? I always get, I feel good. I feel great. I never hear nobody say, I feel like God. You understand? The question today is, it's the fear of the black man, the fear of the black woman, the fear of your power. You see, they've been fearing your power. They've been fearing your mind for a long time. You understand? You see, what ended up happening is they switched their fear onto you. They was afraid that they were actually monkeys. They knew the history of who they was, but they called you a monkey. You understand? They knew the history of everything about you. They knew that you came from greatness. They knew that you came from power itself. They knew that you came from a spaceship and not a slave ship. You understand? They knew this all about you. This is why every day they still digging up pharaohs. They still digging up our priests. They still digging up our ancestors. Because they reminding themselves every day who you are. Because they are afraid of you. Realizing truly the day that you wake up, that you step out of this box that you live in, and truly the day that you wake up, that you step outside of the essence of nothing. You understand? Everybody, you walk around parading. You want to grow businesses. You want to get into the stock market. You want to get into all these different things that are who is this built by? These concepts. A lot of the concepts of everything that we feel like that's our dream was built by someone who doesn't even like you. You understand? Y'all hear what I'm saying? Y'all get this? It's interesting how a lot of people say that they woke. A lot of people say that they want to come more into enlightenment. Enlightenment is truly just passion. The driving force of everything in existence is simply passion. The more passionate that you are about something, you get shit done. It is not about putting things into order. It's not about making goals. It's not about none of that shit. It's being passionate. A black man or a black woman that is passionate about their people will do for their people. You understand? I don't have to make up a plan. I don't have to come up here tonight with no written out story of what I'm about to say because I'm passionate. I feel. I understand things on another level because I feel for it. There is a fire in everybody's soul. I wouldn't say everybody because everybody ain't got a soul. But there's a fire in your soul. You see, you can't be controlled, but you could be misunderstood. And you can be guided into a different rhythm that you thought was yours. You understand? Being black gives you an advantage over every species over this planet. Not even just the planet, but the universe and the cosmos. See, we think we're alone. We think that it's just us and the white man. But that's not even true. Elijah Muhammad told us a long time ago, he said that there are 7 planets within our solar system that have sentient life. See, but when the black man tell us things, we don't believe it. But when the white man bring his shit, bring his science, bring his attitude to something, he say, look, we actually have been studying this, right? And there is actually life. We can confirm it. But the black man said it first a long time ago. You understand? So when y'all hear y'all brothers, red pill, blue pill, 19 keys, they come up here and they tell you the truth first. But we always wait to confirm it from a white man. Why? You understand? My brother gonna come up here and tell y'all. He gonna tell you why vote when you can vote on yourself. But a lot of people there wait till Donald Trump come out and say, like, look, we taking over this country, we don't need votes. Then y'all gonna start believing it because a lot of fear go crippling in y'all mind. You understand? We fear the white man because The devil gives us nothing. We love the devil because the devil gives us nothing. That parable is very powerful when you think about it from a non-biased perspective. You understand? I thought about something the other day because I heard this brother talk about this. It was very powerful. He spoke about the stock market. He said, most tech companies, when you are investing into the stock market, you are invested into your own justification. You are invested into your own demise, your own death. He said all the tech companies, what they do is they take your money that you could have gave your best friend that's, got a business that they want to start. They say they take your $1,000, you put it in their company, right? They can lose it the next day if they want to because they invested your money into something, right? Then they give you a little bit of return and you happy with it. But you see what's happening with this tech company is they get bigger and bigger every dollar that you put into them. You understand? After they get bigger, what they do? They gotta expand. So they say we need more workers. We need the biggest and brightest ones. They take our best workers out the hood. You understand? They take their best workers out of India, out of their own neighborhoods, and they put them where? They come into the inner cities where black people stay. They buy up all the houses. They gentrify it. You buy into your own gentrification. Because you could have but instead you could have put that money to work. Towards your own people. You understand? Because your partner came to you like, look, I got a business proposal, right? But you don't believe in yourself, so you don't believe in your partner. When we talking about breaking out of the matrix, that's exactly what we're talking about. See, a lot of people look at things from a movie perspective. You understand? Because movies is what gave you your reality. Movies is what gave you your mind. So you think and you look at things from a movie perspective. When they told you that the Matrix was truly a documentary, that shit was true. The reason why I know it's true because I speak from experience. This reality in which we live in is simply an illusion. But you see, just like any illusion or any game that you are in, a lot of people don't even know that they're NPCs. If you don't have a purpose, if you don't have passion, if you're not driven by something, you become a part of their passion and their purpose. You understand? If you don't have a drive, the world will drive you crazy. Why do you think everybody feel like, oh, I gotta self-heal? I gotta learn myself. I can't even get in this relationship right now because I'm not even in a perfect relationship with myself. Because you forgot the reason why you came here in the first place. It was a blessing to become a black man or a black woman. But you forgot that. You came here because before you were here where your soul exists, where your spirit exists, because everybody knows that they got a higher spirit. Everybody knows that they got a higher existence because it speaks to you. Anytime that you have intuition that creeps in, anytime that you have a thought of a higher pattern, when you say, when you get that business idea that seems like $1 billion idea, where do you think that's coming from? Huh? You thought that was you? Or was that your higher self? You see, the only thing that we conceive, the only thing that actually happens is your higher self already conceptualizes things for you because it already exists. Your lower self in this realm is the realm that receives the information. You are receiving information from your higher self. It guides you. But you don't listen to it because you're not listening to your intuition or your spiritual side. All right. And the last thing that you do is you perceive the information. And this is from your higher self. So what we're talking about right now, when we are tapping in with one another on this level, when you are coming to events like this to receive information, you got to remember this is still your universe. So this information is actually yourself coming to you in person, from another body, from another existence, coming to give you the reality in which you need to exist on. So as my brother come up here on stage, Brother 19 Keys, you understand? He's gonna come here and give y'all the reality of what's actually happening. And I love y'all, peace and blessings. You understand? It's only one mind in the universe. My name is Bashir. Let's get it. Peace, family. Assalamu alaikum. That means peace be unto you. For those who don't know, this is my younger brother. Bring him on stage, man. When I was young, I remember we used to do, come on up here. He didn't know he's got to stand on stage. You understand me? His name is Rahman. And that's Rahim, and the twins, the beneficent, the merciful. Our parents gave us names that have meaning so that we would grow into them. And it's my job now, as their older brother, to teach them and train them and get them prepared for the world that is here to come. But I have more than just that younger brother, this younger brother, that brother. I have older brothers who are my younger brothers. And it's not the thing where you think you're bigger than someone. We have something to teach someone, we brother them. A lot of us haven't had fathers, haven't been fathered. A lot of us haven't been mothered. So there's an aspect of us that's missing and is wholly imbalanced. And sometimes we don't know how to bow to the next person, so they can be a brother to you that you're missing. Or that can be a sister to you that you're missing. Or that can be a mother to you that you're missing. I believe especially mixed children need to be mothered by a black woman. You didn't have a black woman in your life, that mothering can recorrect you. That nurturing can bring you into balance of real, true righteousness. How everybody doing today? Assalamu alaikum, assalamu alaikum. Come on, stand up for a second with me, man. Shake the energy, it's getting a little late. Y'all get that blood flowing. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, we awake, we alive today. You understand me? I'm here at the discretion of just giving time to the people. It's not about money, it's not about nothing, it's just pure, just giving time and energy and knowledge to the people. You understand me? Now, this is something I do with my Junior Wealth Academy students. And these students range from like 4 to 18. And I have everybody look at their fingerprint. So everybody check their fingerprint. Come on, stand still, man. You're gonna be a soldier today, man. You just stand still right there. You ain't gotta do nothing. So there's a saying that they say there's nothing new under the sun. Everybody heard that saying before? I don't believe the saying because the fingerprint is new, right? When you're born, you're the only one that's born with this fingerprint. So every time I hear somebody say that, they saying that because somebody else just said something that wasn't new under the sun, and they just pass it down to them. And it just becomes social programming. We just say things, react to them, reply to them, with no real meaning whatsoever. Some of us go our whole lives without any real original thoughts, and we never hear somebody say, damn, I never heard nobody put it like that before. I mean, you ain't never really thought for yourself. So the proof that you're original, the proof that there's something new under the sun, the proof that you're a God is your fingerprint. It's like your receipt. So anytime that you forget who you are, look at your fingerprint. You're something new. If there's nothing else that you've done on this planet Earth, you brought something new to the earth. You all can sit down. Now, does anybody know a 100% sure way? I talked about this with Red Pill earlier. A 100% sure way of finding one's purpose.
Yeah, stop lying.
Stop lying. It's 100 proof. I promise you. If you just stop lying. Now, I believe this even in a minuscule manner, right? That if somebody texts you and it's not funny, don't click laugh out loud if it ain't funny. You're right. Now, your brain, what starts to happen is it starts to get confused when you lie, right? Because your nature is that of a righteous being, right? So now you're going against your nature every time you lie, right? You got that self-accusing spirit. You beating yourself up in the head. When you go home, you got to take the drugs. You got to figure out some kumbaya, some therapy, because you've been lying to yourself the whole time. And now your body is in conflict. You fighting your own demons because you keep lying to yourself about why you in that relationship. You lying. You ain't with that person for the reason you said you was. But that's enough to keep you in it. You at that job, you're not there for the reason you're saying you are. You like it. No, you're not really ready to go and do for self. You're lying. And lies kill willpower. So every time you lie to yourself, you decrease your ability to manifest something because your own subconscious being don't believe you. You said you was gonna get up and go to the gym. Big self sat there all day. Next time you say you go get up, your body like, wow, shit, last time you said that we ain't do it. You know what I'm saying? Now when you might be serious with something, we about to manifest this, your mind like, we'll see. Because you're so used to lying. There was a point in time where when we say, we do it. With no lies. We couldn't even speak so much because it was forced to manifest through every word that we said. That words were not wasted as we do today. Useless conversation, just fillers of time. That we just say things because we don't like silence. You know how violent the inside of you have to be where you're afraid of silence. You can't sit with another person. You have to fill the air gaps with words that mean nothing. You don't even want the answer to the questions you're asking. You're not even interested in how the person's day was. You don't care. But you go ask though. You understand me? But the moment we start telling truth, you force yourself to align your actions and everything is real. So now I can't say nothing unless it's real. My philosophy for bullshit is when you say something with no regard to whether it's true or false. Or you do something with no regard to whether it's true or false. So a lot of us live our life bullshitting. Speaking bullshit with no real regard whether it's true or false at all. Whether you're going to really do it, whether you really mean it, whether it was really funny, whether that person really looked good, or you just throwing out compliments. Now, if you ugly, you know, that's something, you know. You got nice shoes. That was true. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not about to compliment the facial features if I don't feel like, you know, they corrective in the eye of my beholding. You know what I'm talking about? But in the reality, we ask ourselves, why do we vote? Why do we vote? Why does Black America vote? If we have not gotten anything from voting, how do we vote? Now, we talked about this last time that we hear people in the arguments of why we should vote. Well, your ancestors died for your vote. Now, if they didn't come, that's not an original statement. They heard somebody else say that. So when it comes up, they're going to say it because they never done any research. And when a person don't do any research, say the average person, by the U.S. labor studies, only reads 19 minutes per day. So that means when they speak it and they don't know what they're talking about, they're going to get angry and frustrated because they don't have any reference. They don't have any truth. Confidence is the ability to hold on to truth. See, when you know something and it's real, a person's like, how you can just get up there and speak? Well, it's just truth. I'm just being truth. I've studied something. I know something. I can speak for hours from the things that I know and I can just pour them out. Now, if I'm bullshitting, I just got to come up here and try to figure out and make something sound good. And I'm going to run out of bullshit. Unless I'm a politician. See, for the most part, we vote just because of bullshit. Somebody says something, we don't know whether it's true or false. They don't have a record of being virtuous men or women. That's not what we vote. We just vote because it's a party. Republican or Democrat. Who can sell us the best bullshit? And then I was looking up, I said, well, what does the word vote mean? And so vote comes from the word votum, meaning to vow or make a wish to a deity or a god. So
Here we are claimed to be against white supremacy, but we vote for it every 4 years.
Come on, come on, come on.
So you're making a vow. You're making a wish to a god, white gods. So I made my campaign, people got mad at me. I said, no, this time pick a black god, if anything, because I promise you I can do more for you than your president would in the next 4 years. I promise you I've done more for Black America than any president. I at least put my record up against Sleepy Joe, you know what I'm talking about, and Donald Trump, that's for sure. I'll put my record up against theirs any day. You understand? The 94 crime bill, we ain't even got to talk. So when we ask ourselves why we do things and we don't know why, you have to now be truthful with yourself. Oh, I'm just bullshit. So what after the vote? Because the way I see it, regardless of who becomes president, white supremacy still lives. Joe Biden might get worse. Because now they feel like they ain't got their president. Remember under Obama, that's Black Lives Matter started. So now we saying that, well, you got to vote for the lesser of two evils. How can you tell which one is lesser? Tell me the truth, or you just go bullshit. Nah, we can't tell the truth. And in our daily lives, we trying to figure out what we need to do. So the bread and circus shows coming. Caesar giving people a little bread, right? Circus show, and we happy long enough so they can bullshit us a little more. We can bullshit ourselves to recognizing that we're powerless. We go home, we living in poverty. Caesar went and fought all these wars, conquering lands, just to come back and his people starving. What you do all that for? The people starving. So you need to distract them from the fact that you're giving them nothing. No, we need you to be an escapist. I need you to go to the club around the clock, Saturday, Sunday, sometimes Monday, Wednesday, right? Get your chicken at the strip club. I know y'all was in there. Had to get a babysitter, pay them, getting deeper in the hole of debt. You're not above board. You gotta go work a job, and then when you go work the job and you working these 40 hours, you're trying to figure out how to escape from the fact that you're in the rat race. Because you bullshitting yourself. There's nothing real about it. So we live a depressed reality and we're trying to repress it a little bit. I need some habituants. I need to smoke a little bit. I need to watch Netflix or whatever it may be, just to distract my mind long enough before I have to live the truth of my reality. And if Black America was real, and we look at the measurement of where we are based on when they said that we were free citizens, and we say, damn, we ain't got nothing. Shouldn't we be angry? Shouldn't we be tearing shit up? Or shouldn't we be constructively building and pulling our resources? Shouldn't we be utilizing every scientific and technological innovation and invention for ourselves? Nah, we bullshit. We happy Tyler Perry got $1 billion. Shout out to him. But we don't even know how he did it. We don't know what his portfolio being diversified, what percentages came from his movies, what percentages came from his investments, what percentage he got in securities. No, shout out to his finance guy, his accountant. Shout out to his investment partners. I want to know who they are. Teach me the game. If you love your people so much and you want to really inspire them to do better for themselves, teach them how you did it. Because putting on a dress ain't how you got to $1 billion. You learned the game of capitalism. You learned the game of America. You started your company. You learned business from Jews, Chinese, Mexican, all sorts of men. But you gonna tell them, no, I got my passion because I put on the dress and I related to issues in the Black community. Now that ain't how you just did it. So we happy with another person's accomplishments because like my brother said that if you don't have passion, then you become somebody else's passion. That you get caught up that Black people in America don't control our own energy. Imagine if you can have all Black people in America vowing and wishing to you as God. Man, I promise you, you can do anything. That's why I want them votes. But I don't want y'all to vote at the ballot box. Don't write my name in. Now, that might be a good esoteric ritual or something. I don't know what I might get. You know what I'm talking about? It might work like ancestor money. I don't know. I'm bullshit. Right? But in reality, I want you to vote with your dollar. Right? See, we created a program, me and my brother Chris it's called Wealth Standard. Now, the reason we call it the Wealth Standard is because we have no standards towards wealth. The Asian community does, Hispanic community, Jewish community sure does, white community, East Indian, everybody else got a standard. We ain't got no standards. Now, your grandpa, he didn't pass down wealth to you. Why? Can't hold him accountability. You don't even know what he did wrong. What didn't he do? There's no list of standards that say, oh, he should have went and bought land. He should have passed down gold, right? He should have had a trust. He should have had a company that had a long tax history that I can utilize, so automatically I've got good business credit. But there's no wealth standards. One of the first interviews I've ever done on a large platform was with my good brother Black Magic TV. And he said, given the history that Black people have in America, that we don't have much, right? And that, these churches have kind of played us and things of that nature. He said, well, why are we still such a spiritual people, right? Why we still go for the spiritual and the religion? And I said, it's probably just because of that. That because we don't have material power, we want some of that spiritual power. Because we can bullshit ourselves and say we're spiritual, but we don't need proof of it. But you can say you're a God, but what is the standard for you being a God? Don't you got to manifest something? Don't you got to build something? Don't you got to own something? Don't you got to rule something? Don't you got to control something, invent something, innovate something, make it better in some particular way? Oh no, I can just walk around and blow my incense and have my singing bowl and, say I'm tapped into my kundalinis and the rest of the time bullshit. So I want standards, not bullshit. I want us to choose based on our virtues and our principles and our results to say, this is who we are. This is what I did. And if we ain't got that, I don't believe you. So in America, we've lost so many rights. In America, we don't know how to benefit when it goes down, yet we want America to fall. In the West End, we teach about options, right? Where you can do options on a trade, right, on stock. So there's a way you can make money. Let's say this stock is about to crash and fall. You can put what they call a put option on it. For, small amount of money, you can buy what they call contracts. You get 100 shares of it, right? And let's say that today, if I bought me a put option on Amazon, right? Now, Amazon is going to cost a little more depending on what time I put this put option on. I can bet that it's going to go down in 2021 to a certain price. Now, I'm not going to break this down right now to you, but I'm just giving you the concept of how it works. Because ever since I was young, I was taught about the fall of America. But now I know how to make money if America falls. That I'm not looking at the stock market and saying, oh man, if this thing crashed, oh, this is terrible. No, I'd rather teach Black people that if America falls, we got to come up. So we can build in the rubble of Babylon. And we can take that money to build our own. But then once you get the money, you got to do what? Oh man, I got to quickly take that cash and turn it to something that's not trash. I got to put this into some kind of security. I got to put it into something that has intrinsic value, something that will never go down to zero. That's a safe hold for it. They gave us reparations today. We wouldn't know how to manage it. We wouldn't know where to put it. A large percentage of us is going to go right back because of our habits. So the goal is not to just want something. I want what I'm ready for. That's it. If I ain't ready for it, I don't need one. Because once you get it, you're going to mismanage it. And we are people that don't know how to manage ourselves. So for the next 4 years, we should make a vow to ourselves to say we're going to preside over our own affairs. Go ahead and give me a clap. This is something I want everybody to do. How many people in here are artists? Authors, yes. Now, I believe that every living person should be an author. That if there was a library of all the lives that live, there would be value in it. That we can go and hear about the stories of men and women, billions of years, however many years ago that they didn't live. No matter how many billions of people, if there were just a city of books on every single person, that would be beautiful, right? We would have a connection to all the lives, a blueprint that was left. Every living person with that fingerprint, they got something to give. You can never oversaturate the market. But how many of you all think it'd take you too long to write a book? Like, you know, like in real honesty, if y'all told me today, I promise to write a book by the end of the month, you wouldn't get it done, right? Right? Be bullshit. So what I did is I taught my junior West End students, my West End students, easy ways for even procrastinators to write a book. It's so easy, a bullshitter can do it. So what I want you to do, how many of you all know a subject that you can just talk for at least 30 minutes to an hour on? Come on, I know y'all be talking. So if you can talk at least 30 minutes, how many of y'all got a story y'all done told before about your life? I ain't never heard the story, so it's valuable. Might not be a good story, might be, who knows? So what I want you to do, or you can pass this along to your children especially, take a recorder. I want you to record yourself having a conversation or talking 30 minutes to an hour on the subject, maybe 2 hours. Then I want you to take that and I want you to get it transcribed. Once you get it transcribed, now you have your book ready. Now, of course, you'll get your index, your chapters, right? You can create your book cover. Right now, you ain't got to put it on Amazon to be an author. You write the book and you're an author. All right, we can give ourselves titles just by having experience in things. Now, what I wanted the children to understand is that when we think about getting things done, there's a huge distance in between. Like, here's me thinking about a goal, and here's authorship somewhere down the street. I'm about to do that. So I try to figure out the simplest ways that people can get things done, and they can start turning a profit on it. Now, there's many different ways you can capitalize on it. So you take it, transcribe it, right? You take that transcription, and then of course you go get it edited, because you know you're gonna mess up, right? Or whoever did it for you, go get it messed up, right? Now you can pull out quotes on it that can become the titles of the paragraphs. You take that, you can just put it in a PDF form, and now you can get people to just cash out you for your book if you want to, or you can go get you a Shopify, take an app called Digital Download, put it on there. As soon as somebody buy it, they got your book and you want it. At least your friends go support. Now, I would prefer doing it independent because you keep all of your money, you do it on somebody like Amazon. Jeff Bezos taking 40% and opening up preschools. But in that simple form, if we think about ways just to give each other access to knowledge, and we taught our children ways to where they can become authors at young ages, instead of just coming out there with stickers on their papers because they didn't have some crayons and they didn't scribble some art that wasn't even beautiful. And we like, baby, that look good, knowing we bullshit. But if they came home with a book, we'd be like, damn. Okay, now they teaching y'all something. I talked to a young entrepreneur. He's a trader. He's only 12 years old. He wrote his first book at 8 years old, and he wrote his book about bullying. He had his best day in trading put options. I think it was $60,000. 12 years old. I sat there and let him teach me. So when we think about things we can't do, and we think about our own children, no wonder they treat us like little children. No wonder we got to make a vow and a wish to them as our deities. The simple things we can't master. We don't even take time to think. For the most part, the average human being doesn't think. Thinking is a deliberate action. Everything else you're doing, you just on yesterday's thoughts. Those habits you wake up and do in the morning, they don't require any thinking. That's why you're not excited. Wash your face, brush your teeth, go to work, drive. It don't require no new thinking. There's no excitement there. We just living off the past thoughts. So without thinking of concepts, and the OG said you're supposed to take concepts and turn them into institutions. So I named this lecture, Fear the Black Rulers. Because what white folks truly fear is not just their genetic annihilation. They fear you having economic opportunities and economic rulership and political rulership. They don't want to be ruled by you. You haven't been ruling yourself right. They definitely don't want to be ruled by you. Maybe the Mansa Musas and stuff back in the day, they would have been better off, right? They don't definitely, white men don't want to be ruled by their women, number one, because they women are not who they owe gratitude towards. They owe the black man everything because we taught them. They women didn't. They women didn't teach them how to be civilized and how to cook and mathematics and invention and writing and speaking. That was the black man, the Moors that came and taught the devils. So that's why they treat their woman last, and then we imitate that as niggas, and we acting like them. It's ungrateful. But that's not the relationship that we have with our woman. We did learn from our woman. So they didn't even want to breastfeed their own children. So when we think about the relationship that we have with white folks, we don't understand it for real. We don't understand why they mad at us knowing who we are. Even though they're trying to stop us from knowing who we are, they mad that we don't know. It's crazy, right? No, they don't want you to know you a God, but they mad that you don't know that though. You understand me? This nigga don't know who he is, and they did everything to stop you from knowing that. And you don't want to know. And if somebody try to teach you, you looking at it wrong, brother. You a God, brother. No, I'm a nigga. A brother will really tell you that in real life. It sounds funny, but somebody will really say that. Be like, no, you a living black man. No, it's old for me, brother. Done with it. Smoking cigarette, drinking some caffeine with a Dunkin's donut with a hot and ready sign. You know what I'm saying? As dead as can be. Because some of us, we would die and be forgotten. That there are graveyards filled with billionaires, millionaires who accumulated a lot, but didn't become much. And once they're gone, they fade in memory. They have nothing that represents that they were ever alive. No value, no legacy, no nothing. So when we look at remnants of our ancestors and civilizations, we're looking at immortals. That laziness is a cheap escape. That death is laziness. Because if you do the right work, you can live forever. I don't live to die. I live to live forever. Everything I do is for legacy. So I'm not about to go, or I'm going to vote just to vote. I'm not about to vow to these folks, because once we understand it from the aspect of law, we know that we are coming under the jurisdiction of somebody's family estate. That if you did some real study into America, and you study that America was incorporated as a corporation, doing business as the United States, as from the Washingtons, and the Washingtons go back down to King Normandy, and his family started in 9/11, but he wanted to create a rule so that his estate can continue, and that all corporations come under the jurisdiction of the major corporation in the United States, so everybody's owned. But we think we know politics. Average politician don't know, he bullshit too. So I can't take too many people serious. There's not too many people actually speak truth, whether they know it or not. Even if you speak in truth because you were indoctrinated from it, there's still no power in it. Somebody gave you a curriculum, you got access to it, you learned it, you taught it, but that's not the truth. So what a man will be considered uncivilized, he may come. They say, brother, come out the jungles. What's that place, that island where they shoot you if you come up to it? There's an island where the inhabitants have never been visited by man. They ain't got technology. There you go. Andaman Island. And or you go to the pygmy people, and let's say you go to them brothers, right? And so-called civilized men think they uncivilized. But that man say, well, you're not even connected to the earth. You don't even know what herbs will heal you. You don't know what food to eat. If we put you on the earth, you wouldn't know how to survive. But because you got a doctorate, you got a degree, you can vote, you can take pills with a million side effects, you think you're civilized. But civilization truly for God is to be connected to nature. So black people in America, when we ask and we look for the solutions of what we need to do, number one, I always say ownership of slave ship, right? The one who controls the job rules the people. That if you control the food, you control the job, you control time, electricity, all of this, you're ruled. And at some point in time, you have to come to terms with that so you can change it. Now, me, I want to change the trajectory of the next generation to where this is the last generation of the white supremacy. But how does that happen? That we stop indoctrinating our children, saying, well, just go to high school. I think that in high school, self-development should be 90% of the curriculum. Mental development should be 90% of the curriculum, and the rest should be skills. Because if you got the right mind, you can do anything once you pick it up. But most people come out these institutions immature, can't manage their mind, their emotions, their feelings, nothing. And want to be psychologists. You want to help somebody else manage their problems. And you got a million of them. Doctors that smoke, can't even manage your own health, but you want to take care of somebody else. So we live a very hypocritical society. And we ourselves haven't studied, so we don't even know what parts are false. So for me, I want everybody, and I keep saying this message, of course. Family business is the strongest business because you're coming together and it's harder to rule people who have. But when you become individuals, it is easier to rule people who are separated from each other. It's easier to capitalize off you. So there's always going to be issues when it comes to that. That the moment that we become families and we're functional, we know our role, we know how to communicate, we know our mission, our vision, and our values. Then we become a higher order. Now we're operating with a higher standard. But until then, we're just children under someone else's jurisdiction. They watch us. They control how we eat, what we see, how we see it, why we buy it. Our whole lives are fixed in an algorithm so somebody else can capitalize off us. But there are young gods out here and young goddesses that's moving the needle. That's creating institutions, that's teaching what? That's teaching real estate, that's teaching spirituality, that's teaching you how to build. And those are the people that you should listen to. Those are the people you should tap in and not just listen, but you should execute, because a lot of us take things as just conscious junk food. It's sounding good, it felt, we ain't going with it. But I know something good if I did listen to, so I'm gonna listen to it again. I'm coming back for that stimuli. I need that dopamine trigger real quick. I need to feel good about what I'm doing. It's the same thing as if you're watching Netflix. But we trick ourselves and we lie and we bullshit. And the reason I keep saying the BS is because when I decided and I came to a point of revelation that I was bullshitting, I used to sound smart, right? I used to sound real smart, but I didn't really know what the words meant when I was using all these big words. But I could put together a sentence. Man, it would be cold and I could speak real fast. And then the person like, you bullshit, I don't know what that means. Right? And then for me, I'll be like, damn, you're right. And then that's when I had to go on a learning bench because that wasn't my intent. So I went and started learning. So now everything that I pulled, it has to come out in the structure of truth. That I can speak as fast as I want to, the truth will still come out because I'm only pulling from things that are real. So when you tell somebody I'm going to start a business, if you're not going to do that, tell the truth that I'm thinking about starting a business, but honestly, I've been procrastinating. If I look at my real history in life, I probably won't do nothing in the next couple of weeks. I'm probably going to wait to be motivated again. And then I'm going to tell somebody else I'm ready to start a business, but it's going to fail because I didn't do my real research. And then I'm going to be mad at black people for not supporting my business, but I didn't learn marketing and branding. We ain't going to go through all of that. You understand? But we just have truth pills and truth moments. And we say, what are the things that black people can do to save themselves today? Not the legislation that can be written, not laws that can be passed, not police stopping killing us. What are the things that black people can do specifically today to save themselves. Now, when we have those conversations and we listen to the people that make us accountable, now we become responsible for saving ourselves. Because every other community has had that realization. The Jewish community realized white folks don't want them to work hard, laborious jobs. Poor didn't want to get them jobs. So, okay, well, what can we do then? Well, shoot, let's do the paperwork. Let's be the smart assistants. Let's do the accountant. Let's do the lawyer work. They don't want to do that. They're lazy. They have black people working for them. They don't want to do all that. They can't think with their mind like that. So cool. Now they did that. The Chinese, they said, okay, well, let's create this interconnected network where we at least run this industry, fast food industry, the Chinese food, the nail salons. Look, if we can capitalize on black people circulating in our community, right? They're not going to keep it circulating in their community. So as long as we keep it circulating, cipher from them, we can keep this pot growing, right? But we got to help each other out. If you get 10,000, everybody putting it into that pot, right? Now it's time for that person to get 10,000. Y'all keep putting it into that pot. They start to just create systems. What can we do right now? Because they know they was dealing with a devil. We ain't gonna act like he's not a devil and wait for things to change. Nah, Mexican community, we see them working. We ain't gotta say nothing. They'll work for cheap. But it's not really cheap because they're working for a cause. See, that's what we don't have in mind. When you see people willing to do whatever for their uprising, that's not cheap. That comes at a heavy price and cost. But the average person that comes out their household, they're gonna own a house. Our household, we just own a debt. Then you look at the East Indian, they studied the white man. They said, man, they get rich off the technology and the software, healthcare. Oh, that's what we gonna do. They ciphering us to come over there as brain trust for them. So how about when we get enough money, we stop doing that and we just build over here. Now, of course, they got crooked politicians and things of that nature still slaving their people away, but that's besides the point. Everybody has protocols when it comes towards wealth, because they had truthful discussions about what reality is, but we live in an illusion. The American illusion, not dream, just the American illusion. But we still have hope in that illusion, which is why we continue to vote, because we're reestablishing our connection with the illusion. Obama ran off hope. Donald Trump ran off fear. These are still both powerful psychological drivers that get people into action. They studied our people so well that they know you. And now they have machines that are working to know you way more. So now it's time for us to study ourselves and be truthful with who we are. How many people in here own a business? Keep your hands up if you work with family. How many people have made, keep the number low, 40,000 profit in their business this year? No, hands down, you don't work with family. You don't work with family, it don't count. How many people have made 50,000? How many people have made 60,000? How many people have made 70,000? We getting some ballers up here. Y'all still up. How many people made 100,000? How many people have made 150,000? Right. So we 6 figures in here. About profit. About 0.1% that we can look at and say work with family and have made over 6 figures in this room. And if you take this same picture of most of Black America, and it's probably still a high amount. Because the average room you go into, those hands would have been went down. But kudos to everybody that has a business. Give yourself a clap. Because it's not easy running a business. I get it. But now it's time for us to get very professional. Now it's time for us to seize the moment to say, what is my 2021 plans? How many people restructured their business plan during the coronavirus? How many people have a 2021 business plan? 2022 business plan? 2023 business plan? How many people are planning for 2030? Now, do you have an actual plan for what you want to do or how you're going to do it? Where's going to be the technology? What are your projections for 2030? We got a sister in here, she hanging in. Now, imagine if that was the standard. That we are planning people. We know our numbers, we know where we want to be, whether we want to exit it, whether we want to sell our business, whether we want to put it on the stock market, whether we want to collaborate, do a merger, that we have different standards for our business that are higher standards. So next time you burn your sage, I want you to be sitting down writing a business plan. That 2021 should be meticulously thought out and planned. It doesn't have to go 100% to plan, but at least you have direction. And all you have to do is correct the course when you get off direction because you know where you're going, right? How many people use Instagram to sell? Now, how many people would say Instagram is their main source of sales as a sales channel? What is your main sales channel? Somebody. Face-to-face, in-person sales, Facebook. How many sales channels do you have? And what are those sales channels?
Face-to-face, Instagram,
And Facebook. My good brother back there, how many sales channels do you have? Face-to-face, Instagram, in-person, eventually distributor program. Now, how many people got at least 5 sales channels? 6, 7, 8. This brother's still in different dimensions. Now, I know that, brother, so I know you're telling the truth. Now, what I want you to do, I want you to audit your sales channels, right? So this is something I did with my business, and after I did it, we had our first 6-figure month. So what we did is we looked at the sales channels, and we looked at the percentage that we was getting from Instagram, and we looked at the percentage we was getting from everywhere else, right? And then one thing I learned when I was working a job before I fired them is that we used to do a daily report, a weekly report, and a monthly report. Now this daily report, we had a daily goal, we had a weekly goal, we had a monthly goal, right? And we would take that metrics of yesterday, and that's what we would create our expectations off of. Now, if you've been in business for a while, you can do yesteryear, right? So with those metrics, we was able to plan out. Now, anybody that wants to, expand to that next level, you got to plan, right? Even if it happens by accident, you're going to have to reverse engineer, put it on paper so you can do it again, right? Especially if you want to teach others how to do it. Now, they say that you should run your business as if you're going to sell it. Because therefore, you're setting up a protocol. If somebody was to step in and take over your business, you can just show them A to Z what to get done. If you want to train people A to Z what to get done. But if you're running your business the same way as if you started, your business is failing. So now I looked at the sales channel and I say, well, what if we add brand ambassadors? So we was only selling mostly just on Instagram. With a brand ambassadors added, now they're making another 10 grand for us a month, right? But they getting their commission and they cut. Then I had to look at it and say, yeah, well, there's Facebook, there's YouTube, there's Twitter, right? There is in-person, there's doing a wholesale, right? There's a multitude of things, but every place that you're not selling, you're missing and leaving money on the table, right? But we start to, we get emotionally attached to our sales channels. You understand? We start to marry them, right? If we got Instagram sold up, now let's go master something else. Right? Because the possibility exists that you could probably be making another, at least 10,000 on Facebook. Or you can make another 10,000 with your affiliates, another 10,000 in person. Now, if I had to ask everybody here, have you done every single thing that you could possibly do to maximize your sales? Raise your hand. All right. So we leave the money on the table. Now, all the businesses, everybody that raised a hand, that was the one time we were truthful. Because we know we're not living to our greatest potential. Now, that's not Trump's fault, not Biden's fault, right? Not Obama's fault. That's yours. So now, you found out a part of your weakness, that you're not committing 100%. which at some point, at some level, it makes you comfortable. Now, some people say, well, I ain't comfortable, I ain't got what I want. You can be comfortable with failure. You can. You can be comfortable with failure. Success is uncomfortable because you have to maintain a life. And once you do a lot, it's like, damn, I gotta do that again. So some people don't want the accountability and responsibility of success. I don't want to work with a bunch of people because they're dependent on me, but if I fail myself, I can't tell nobody. So audit your sales channels. I want you to come up with your next product already, right? You should have a list of product development. So we sat down and said, okay, what are going to be the next 3 products? I got some products on that paper we ain't even thought about doing yet, right? But we went into the future with it, all kind of stuff. So the next products start to come out. Then once you get, you start to have that rhythm, first, second, you start to create your sales channel. I started auditing the business. They telling me that there was metrics about my bounce back rate, right? Telling me that the landing page gives me a percentage to tell me how many people are likely to buy if I design my page a certain way. So now I can ignore that, or I can say, well, let me redesign this a little bit, right? Increase sales. We're going for percentages, not numbers, right? But when you're thinking like you're thinking of percentages, that if I can get the attention of 100 people, and let's say that I'm able to get 10% every time that actually buy. So now I want to figure out how I can take that money that I got for the 10%. Then I need to reinvest that so I can get more attention, right? But oftentimes we pay ourselves too much and we don't reinvest and allocate towards growth. So let's say I'm putting out content. This is what I call the content industrial complex or the content industrial complex. It's simple. I like simple terms. You make capital. You make content. Content is a transaction for attention. You gain the attention, right? Attention can be converted into capital. You take the capital. You take the profits from that capital, right? And you reinvest so you can get more attention by creating more content. Now your circle starts to grow and it gets bigger every single time because it's like a snake in its own tail, right? But often we get a little attention, we take the capital, got some new shoes, right? Now you're trying to figure out, damn, what did I just build last time? So instead, you reinvest. And you let it keep growing and keep growing and keep growing because if I put out this content, I reached 100 people, right? I converted 10 people, so I'm at 10%. So now I'm gonna take that money, right? Reinvest it, so now I'm trying to reach 200 people. Right now I'm at 20%. So now I can continue to have exponential growth. Everything in life is a mathematical formula, but we're not a mathematical thinking people. The moment we start playing chess, then we win. But it's simple because nobody has a high expectation for the mathematical thinking of our people because it requires us to be quiet and listen to ourselves. You don't see mathematical geniuses sitting and yelling at people all the time, having ratchet conversations. No, they gotta be sitting there thinking, computing data, often sometimes introverted. Not saying you gotta be some calculus mathematicians. No, I'm talking about just in your repetition of thinking in steps, right? Looking at your life and saying, how can I have an improvement of productivity? How can I decrease time, right, and increase distance in a shorter amount of time? I want to get there faster. I'm always trying to figure out how I get there faster. Certain things win, not by luck. There's a formula to even why things go viral, why we share things, why we discuss things. So if we're not studying those things in the way they work, there's a book called The Catalyst. And I think everybody should read it. The Catalyst. If you own a business, write this down, please. It's an amazing book. It breaks down a lot. And it deals with how to get people to change their mind. And this brother wrote a book called Contagious. Now, he's not a brother in the sense that he's black, but he's a brother, he taught me something. I'm talking about. But for that purpose, though, our growth starts with our growth. And that means that the more that we grow mentally, everything that we do grows outward. The more that I know, the more I can do. But if you're not sitting time growing, and you look at everything else that is not growing, it's only a product of you. That's it. So we think that the law of attraction only works when it's in our favor, when we like what we attracted. They did this study where they wanted to see, they took these students, they were in this class and they brought actors in. So they embedded the actors into these students' classes. And what they wanted to do was, they wanted to make sure certain people was in a class more than everybody else. So they wanted to see if familiarity bred attraction. So then they did a test to say, okay, they're going to test to see how you rate the attractiveness of your peers. And so there was a much higher percentage of the people that they seen more were attractive to them. Why? Because they had more data up there to pull from. They were higher at their rate of decision making. So when you think about it, you see some people, they always posting, always putting out things. Now, whether you know it or not, whether you like something or not, it's not always distinguished, right, by your taste level. Sometimes it's just by you always seeing it. That the more information and the more data you have on it, the more likely you are to make a decision towards it. But if you don't know it exists, it is much harder. There was a study done where they gave, they rated authors, right? So well-known authors, if they got a good review, of course, it increased sales, right? They got a bad review, it still kind of increased sales, not so much, right? But these are authors that people already know. So they're not getting the attention on them. But then authors that were little known, even when they got a bad review, it increased sales. Why? Because now more people know who they were. Now people don't always remember why they know you, right? But they know you got some product placement somewhere in their head. So now when you want to go buy a book, you're going to the one you were exposed to. So how many people post 3 times a day? Woo! We're starting to see a trend here. This brother said he made about 6 figures. He said he made about 6. He said he made about 6. Brother, he about to make 6. These brothers said they post at least 3 times a day. So do you think that there's a connection from the fact that people are seeing them more, so now they have the opportunity to make a decision towards buying it because of the breeze familiarity? See, this is the dangerous thing about this election, is that both parties focus on Trump. Both parties focus on Trump. Trump talks about Trump, Biden talks about Trump, Black Lives Matter talk about Trump. It's just 100 ways to hide Trump. So when people are sitting at home, and when you're sitting at home, and your environment is changed from doing the mail-in ballots, it changes psychological behavior. So people are not going to vote the way that they traditionally voted during this time. Number one, they just went through a pandemic. People are fearful, they're scared. There's a lot of different triggers that come into the mind is why we make our decisions. Now, it said that if you put the voting poll in the school, people will be more in favor about legislation towards school improvement, or a politician that has some legislation in school. Or maybe if you put the polling in church, they may pick somebody who they think is more virtuous. So maybe if all the polling were in the church, I'm not sure if Donald Trump could win. Because you feel like you sinning just for voting for him. But when you sitting at home, now that's the difference. You're a little more bold, you by yourself. You make different decisions when you're at home. Now you might just be thinking about your business. Like, make money on the Trump. I might just, nobody else see. You know, I might just, hey, we going with the orange for next floor. So I'm looking at this from psychological perspective, a mathematical perspective, right? Metaphysical perspective. It's about being a high-level observer. There's low-level observation, and there's high-level observation. And most of us only observe from a low level of thinking. We just react. The moment you're reacting, it's a low-level observation. You're looking at a woman, she thick queen, you know what I'm talking about? Voluptuous, you understand me? Scrumptious looking. It's still low level, brother. Because you looking at her from the outside, but who is she though? She might be a demon on the inside. Might be ugly as hell. You don't know her soul, spirit, and none of her value that she can bring. So it's a low-level observation. It's a high-level observation. I'm not looking with my eyes. I'm looking with my mind. That's a high-level observation. But we've been taught to see with our eyes, but our eyes don't actually predict the images. And when we take in light, it goes to the back of our brains. There's no light that ever touches the brain. So our perception of reality, everybody is different. Now imagine if we can get everybody to think on certain standards, right? That we have this ability to affect reality just by observation. So if everybody is on a high frequency, we manifest a completely different world. When the Egyptians were building the pyramids, I'm sure it wasn't no distractions. Brother, you gotta work today. No, it wasn't no billboard say, Coca-Cola over here, T-Mobile over here. No, just pyramids, brother. Just pyramids today. It's just one vision for the people, brother. You got the gods, you got the pyramid, put the obelisk up there. Hey, make sure we got some gold water factories running. That's all that was happening. Today, we got a million distractions. People pulling our vision and our attention in a million directions. What is the vision of Black America? Can anybody tell what's the vision of Black America? Survive. The survival mechanism is a lack of vision. You can't see. You have a mental myopia. Mental myopia is when that's why I can't see in the back of the room. I can't see too far. But there's a mental myopia where you can't think far ahead in the future because all you're trying to do is survive. So if you bring a brother a vision, you say, man, I'm just trying to eat right. I'm just trying to feed my family. I ain't got time to be hearing all that long term stuff. I might be dead next week. So our people are consistently distracted. Our vision is constantly poor, so we never actually produce a vision because the moment we have a collective vision, the moment we're meditating on the same thing, we can literally manifest that we are light beings. I talk business, but I live metaphysical. And I know that one of my greatest powers is not my business acumen, not my creativity, not my imagination, not my good looks. My greatest power is my ability to take whatever is in my mind and bring it out. And I construct it in my mind like an architect. And I can actually literally bring it outward. And I know that precept can become a concept. That's my greatest ability. And nobody can doubt what's in my mind. They can look and say, well, this brother, he ain't never did that before. It's okay, I got imagination. And we lack imagination today. And that wondrous spirit that we have as children, where we imagine ourselves in better places, takes us beyond our circumstances. I can't see it with my eyes, but I can see it in my mind. And everything is created twice, once in the mind and once in the reality. So you keep the Black man's mind destructive. You keep his mind in chaos. You keep his mind thinking on bullshit, nothing real, nothing truthful. He has a goal, but he don't know how to actually manifest it. He don't know the steps, don't have a plan, don't have a strategy, don't have a team, no execution. Ain't no will being produced like that. So when we think of our businesses and we think of our next 4 years, we have to be the ones first imagining it. There's only one person I'm jealous of. Anybody know? My future self. That brother got it all. He's sitting there with my queen. You know what I'm talking about? He got my paper here in my house, playing with my kids. He's smart as hell. You understand me? Oh, handsome, all kind of crazy stuff going on. He got this dope ass crown with some technology in it I ain't never heard of. Man, I want that life. So sometimes I sit there and I imagine, you talk to you, brother. How you do that? How you do that? And I imagine the type of answers that you give. Then go and execute. You got to spend time with your future self because every single time you're not reading, you're robbing your future self of knowledge. Every time you spend your money on a liability, you're robbing yourself of a return. So we have been on ones, we talk about being robbed by the white man, but we rob our future selves every single day. That 4 years ago today, we have the ability to invest it every single day. And only we are going to live our lives. Only we have to step into who we are and live that skin. When we look around and like, damn, this is what I did with my life for the last 4 years. So there's a responsibility because you have two versions of yourself, the critical thinking and the experiential self. The one that just want to go have fun. And then the other one say, no, we got work to do. Whichever one you allow to win the most, you live that life. You can look at what you got today. You can look at your bank account. You can look at your friends, your relationship, your life, your family, right? You can look at what parts of your life you starved and what parts of your life you fed. So as I measure Black America's progress and metrics of success, I can tell what parts we're robbing ourselves, what we invested into, what are our plans, our visions, our lack of visions, our goals, our sales channels, a multitude of different things. All of this just leads back down to accountability, responsibilities, and creating standards. Because the moment that this being a successful entrepreneur is no longer special, protecting a Black woman is no longer special, that is just a standard, we can move on to higher things. But we don't have basic living standards together. So it's very hard to get to our wealth standards. And wealth is when you have an abundance of assets. But right now we have an abundance of liabilities. Our procrastination, our lack of focus, our lack of drive, ambition, constantly switching jobs, these are so many liabilities. And if we weigh those on the scale to our assets, it's gonna fall to the ground. It's poverty, there's no balance there. So your goal today is to audit yourself, spend time with your future self, have that conversation, go to your business, audit it, write your day plan, write your week plan, write your month plan, write your year plan, your 5-year plan, your 10-year plan. If you don't know how to do it, go utilize that thing that they created called the phone. That phone, you can Google tell you stuff. They just be telling you stuff. I just be researching stuff, and it just be leading me down the rabbit hole of truth. And then all of a sudden, I got some new knowledge that I can use to manifest something new. How you do it? How do you do it? But you got a phone too. You got a mind, you got a brain. So how come you didn't use it? Usefulness determines your value. So what's the value of the Black mind? What's the value of the Black brain and Black energy? Now everybody else knows how to use it. We don't own hip hop. We don't own our own bodies. Somebody else utilizes that to become a great superpower. But we have the ability every single day to make a choice to become whoever we want to be. It don't take 21 days to make a habit. The day you start and the day you don't quit. But the only person who quit is the undisciplined man. So we have to become novices when it comes to discipline and becoming disciples of the truth that we say we want to live by. Right? Remember, we're not dying for it, we're living for it. Our bodies decay, they go, but our soul and our spirit, they continue to live on. Write down your business plan. Please, that's the best thing I can tell you to do tonight. Vote for yourself with every single dollar that you spend. Saying that this is how I'm going to manage my affairs and my activities, this is how I'm going to win. I'm going to train myself. It's going to be difficult, it's hard. This argument that I've had with family is my fault. We know how hard that's a hard pill to swallow, right? No, they be tripping. But it's my fault. Why? Because I bet there's a technique, I bet there's a tweak that I can make that can deal with people in a different manner. Why? Because I know that that's just their programming. That's my rationality dealing with people. That's just their programming. So I'm not going to fight their habits. I'm not going to force them to change. I'm going to make that change, and then I'm going to allow things around me to change as I grow. So own your LLCs, own your goal, work getting your trust, work on training, working out, building up that confidence, right? If we're complaining, we should be training.
That's right.
And we need to work on our wealth standards, because if we don't have it, it's time to get it. Peace, family. Hey, shout out to my brother. He stayed up here. This is my MVP.
Now give that man another round of applause. Come on now. Yeah. Come back to me. Yeah, get that man to stand. Okay? I want to see Keys debate whole body. Yeah, let's work. Right? So, as I was saying earlier, you know, in our communities or in our networks, not necessarily people that just live in Atlanta, but all around the world, there are not revolutionaries, but solutionaries emerging from out of the hubris, from out of the debris of all of these fallen, you know, leaders and celebrities and egos and whatever you may see. There's a new crop of brothers on the front line that are not just doing the work by talking about it, but they're actually living it. And they're producing solutions, right? Men like Derek Grace. Give a hand to Derek Grace, one of my shifter brothers. Another paradigm shifter. My good brother, Billionaire PA, right? Give Billionaire PA a good hand because we'll have him up here very soon. That man personally spoke life into me. It was about 3 months ago. My plane landed in Atlanta. There was a lecture going on. He was the first person that I came in contact with. We went to a hookah bar in Buckhead. And we had about an hour-long conversation. He was like, Red Pill, speak your dreams into existence. And I promise you, my life took a turn from the better from that day up until right now. I bear witness. So that man is shifting worlds. He's changing paradigms just in conversation, right? We got brothers like Pop Darby out there in Texas doing real big things. Give that man a round of applause. He ran for office. Yeah, he was running against Scarface. Yeah, and he's doing big things. Rizza Islam. I mean, I could go on for days. Blue Pill, what he's doing with his companies and stuff like that. KT the Arch Degree, Mama Pill, AA Rashid. I could go on for days. But there's brothers and sisters amongst you right now. Let me mention the sisters' names, of course. Mama Tassili, where's Mama Tassili at? The owner, the proprietor right there of multiple businesses, right? Because land is of utmost importance. But before we secure the land, why not snatch up the brick and mortar, what's on top of the land? You don't own that necessarily, but you could utilize that to raise the funds to purchase the land. Because that is of utmost importance. If we do nothing, when we have to go back and claim the land. A lot of us come from families that own estates and acreage and whatnot. And if you still have those, if you still got that land, you need to talk to us because we have people that we could sit you down with that could work this out. But we have our eyes on a future purchase. It's looking real good out here to be a landowner, to be a sovereign. We could talk about it and play with it all day and create these delusions of grandeur with the fake paperwork, you know what I'm talking about? And, my first passport and all of that, my first Sony passport that people be drawing up. But that's not real sovereignty. Real sovereignty is being able to wake up on your own land and to pick up the produce that you produced, right? And to be able to do anything on that land and you can have defense. You can have fences on your land, or you can have defense to protect that swat of land is yours. You might not be able to run things anywhere else, but you could do a lot on 5 acres. I don't care if this out there in El Segundo. Who cares? Do you got Wi-Fi? Yeah, we'll know what you're doing. Yeah, we'll be able to tap in. You don't got to be around people anymore, right? Amazon is delivering with drones. You know what I'm talking about? You can close the gap. So the movement of people living off grid and building up their own communes is growing by the day. I feel so bad that our community is so marginalized, that we are so closed off, and we don't get the information about what's really going on. But let something bad happen to somebody that got melanin, they're gonna shove it all in your face, right? They're gonna smear it all in our faces. Oh, they killed another one of you. Oh, another one of you got arrested yesterday. Okay, all right, I'm okay with that. You know, things happen. But why don't we balance it out by speaking about the good news? We're so indoctrinated at this point that we repel by good news. How about that? How about when you go on social media and you see good news, you scroll past it. You're like, I don't want to see that shit. Who got shot today? I'm trying to turn up. That's where they got us. I'm just being honest. People are not really jacking positivity right now. That's called bragging. If you're online like, yo, I'm lit, I got this and that, they're like, you're bragging. Who wants to hear that? Nobody wants to hear your problems. They're like, yo, that's a problem. That's not goals anymore. Goals is to get a settlement from the NYPD. Goals is to have Fox 5 say your name with a hashtag on it. That's goals. So we got to get our minds right. And like I said, to own some property out here or to own a storefront with your logo and your name on it, especially in historical areas like the West End that have a lot of open, they got a lot of open, retail, brick and mortar, just waiting for somebody to go ahead and put some money down. And I'm here on this stage letting you know, if you belong to this community and if you belong to this network and you decide that that's the move that you want to make, we are here to support you. Okay? We will bring you up in front of the people. We will promote you. We will advertise for you. We will introduce you to the resources that we have. So your business could be industry standard and it could propel. If we're doing events, we make sure that we come into Black-owned businesses. You know what I'm talking about? So we don't got to worry about who's spying on us or who's coming in here. They doing lectures in Starbucks. Wrong place. You can't fight the power in Starbucks. You know what I'm saying? We got to be, this is not those days anymore. We got to get updated in our thinking. We got to think like sovereigns. Like I said, it's a mind state. But if you live on your own land and you're in touch with nature, because I always say that you'll never experience God in the city. Why? Because he didn't build the city. The metropolis is man-made. This is not a reflection of the beauty of God. This is the beauty of the mind and whatnot. This is what mankind created. But God, the beauty of God, if you say that you God, why you can't be in the forest overnight with no light? Huh? Why can't we drop you in the rainforest for like a month and you become one with God? Because the nectars is nature. NTR is nature. God is in nature. You see the beauty of God and the paintbrush of God just by going into nature. And DNA responds to environment. So your DNA will never get to the level of God if you in the city. Like Blue Pill said, you're not grounded. You're sitting on top of plastic. Your core, your soul has not even driven into the core of the earth. And they just put a report out that said that there's a black hole in the center of this earth. Right? And when they teach you to ground through breathing and whatnot, Blue Pill says visualize your soul, the bottom of your feet being a court and driving to the middle of the earth. And then tapping in, right? Because a lot of us have to release. We're not releasing because we wearing Jordans and whatnot. But we got to stop making fun of niggas that's barefoot and get barefoot. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Shout out to all of my family from the backwoods and whatnot. Shout out to all of my island people and the ADOS. You know what I'm saying? We don't see no difference. Y'all all one. We all indigenous, right? And we all reincarnated and we where we supposed to be. Like how they had on Lovecraft County. You saw her coordinates? Right? The sister Hippa colitis? You saw her coordinates? You are where you're supposed to be. You was who you are before you got here. So if you're here for a reason. If you're in this room, you're here for a reason, okay? Right? And it's your duty to receive, because each person that got up here was giving. They're very giving of themselves. It's not easy to get up here and to bare your soul. It's not easy to get up here and share your art. It's not easy to get up here and share your ideas and your concepts in an environment that could potentially be hostile. Right? Because if you let anybody else tell it, the conscious community is toxic. Black, it's all this black on black crime. You know, black people die over there. You know what I'm saying? They make it seem like this is Camp Crystal Lake. But when you get together and when we link up, right? And when we connect and when we network and when we put our fears to the side and our judgment to the side and we give it a chance and we believe in us first, and then our brothers and sisters, we get rewarded, right? So just being here tonight is a reward. I was sitting back there with my daughter, just being rewarded, showered with these gems, showered with this information, being able to see everybody becoming enlightened and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? It's some people that never heard 19 keys, didn't even know what a 19 keys was. Thought I was bringing some drugs up here. Yeah. But we are going to continue these Melanin Mondays, these double-ass networking events. I always encourage matter of fact, everybody that's sitting next to somebody, please give them a handshake and introduce yourself, please, before we end this thing. Yes, y'all been sitting next to each other all of this time. You know, let epigenetics kick in. Right. Y'all are all beautiful. Yeah. So I want to end this Melanin Monday live on a positive note. I want to encourage everybody out there to vote. But like Key said, vote with your dollar. Right? Vote with your dollar. Vote with your appreciation of your thought leaders and the brothers and sisters amongst you on the front line that are doing the work. There are a lot of people out here doing classes and courses. Sign up, right? Me and Billionaire PA, we just started our 4-week business course. Tap in. 19 Keys has his business course, right? Money, the wealth market. Tap in. The wealth standard. Tap in. Derek Grace with the post-Trump thing. Tap in. Brother Benex. There are brothers and sisters amongst you doing a thing. So we need the family to reciprocate that and to vote with your dollars and vote with your attendance and vote with your support. And with that being said, we're going to see you next Monday. Oh, I need y'all to fill out this book right here. I need y'all to fill out this book right here. Give me your email and your Instagram. Yeah. And also the gifts and talents that you have. I want to give the vendors or the young entrepreneurs real quick an opportunity to shout them out. Vendors, please come forward. We want to put y'all on record. And I need y'all to support my clothing line over there in Kings County. I don't want to go home with nothing. And we got the copper over there. Get you some jewelry. Go get you some athletics. And the other vendors as well. This Saturday is the Work Fest. Lizzie, where you at? Lizzie Jeff? Yes, 10-10. The Work Fest, the second annual Work Fest. I'm going to perform. Blueprint performing. Lizzie Jeff performing. Bashir performing. We're going to be the hosts. It's going to be super lit on Cascades. Yeah. All right, businesses. Business alert. Hold on. Quiet in the building. Quiet in the building. Business alert. We need to highlight the businesses. Let's start.
Okay, so I really, really want to take a moment and highlight this beautiful young queen, Sister Kalima. She has been out here doing her thing. She got a booth in the back. Queens, y'all go support her, please. She's a young entrepreneur, and I'm just proud of her, and I want her to tell a little bit about herself.
So I don't want to tell too much. I feel like I'm probably that way. But I just wanted to say this. Being beautiful is internal. It's not the mask. Beauty is how you think and treat people, which gives you an outer appearance from a reflection that someone perceives you in. That's the real microcosm. The mind is the aesthetic, not the cosmetic. Okay, so for now, I do have a new eyeshadow palette that I worked on with me and my sisterhood. So we pretty much picked out colors that we normally would wear on a daily basis. And I just started it, but we're gonna get the ball rolling in the future. And I just, love being here and being around these people with the spirit and that's it. I'm really Oh yeah. So pretty much, I learned how to thread back in 2017. So I do eyebrow threading, and I know how to just lash growth up and anything that has to do with facial hair removal. That's me.
Give her a round of applause, you guys. Check her out. Please support the system before y'all leave. And up here we have Sage, beautiful Sage. Come. Sage, tell them a little bit about what she's got going on. She's also a vendor out here, been doing her thing, you guys, and support.
Yes, hello. My name is Sage. IG is organic.sage. I have a few juices and accessories in the back. Just come shop with me, come speak to me. I would love to talk to y'all.
Yes, round of applause. Of course, my boy Jeff, y'all already know Afroletics. He got the vibe, the gear at the back, all the best, Savvy Genesis, all the, jerseys, all good stuff. So,
Yo, I'm in the back. Y'all can check me out. All the summer stuff, I'm marking it down. So come get a deal. And also on Fridays at Action Culture, right next to Cities 1065, we have food, fashion, and fun Fridays. There's a DJ out there, so you can be inside, outside. Come check out what we got. We got a lot of women's gear as well as my gear. So check me out. And we'll be at the Woke Fest, so check me out there too.
round of applause. You talking about the pop-up shop, Action? We'll be out there too. And hashtag Melanin Monday for all the pictures tonight, you guys. Melanin Monday, ATL, hashtag. Also want to shine my beautiful Queen of Diamonds right here. The Elba over here has an amazing gear over here. Ladies, check it out.
Salute. I'm Queen of Diamonds. I have indigenous, I guess the piece that you wear on your hair, headdresses. I have sorrel. It's very delicious. I put a lot of love into it, a lot of ingredients, and I get a lot of compliments from the sorrel.
So y'all come check her out. She's over here in the corner. Again, please, we love y'all. Shop with the vendors. Come on and see us. We're here every Monday from 6 to 10 p.m. If you're interested in vending, come check me out or send me an email at healthyhealing33@gmail.com. All right, one good time for the DJ now. DJ Fire up in the building. All the way from Miami, bringing us a great vibe, spinning the tune all night, keeping us hype. Y'all tap in. We at the Woke Fest this weekend. Y'all don't want to miss that. Saturday. Then also, October 11th, Sunday, we got Lizzie's listening party, Lizzie Jeff. And we got the Sound Bowl Healing with Raw Yogi, Drum Circle. Y'all tap in.
Flush it. New day. This is a song. Make sure you support one another.